I'm the world's leading real estate trainer today, and I teach people how to buy and sell houses without using their money or credit all over North America. And because I personally teach my events, I hear the same things over and over everywhere I go, no matter what city I'm in. People are hating more and more of what they do. I'm not in control of my life, and I have to work 70 hours a week, whether I like it or not. To take your life back and build your own business is really what we are here to do.
When it comes to Ron LeGrand, there's nobody else that has had more of an impact on our real estate investing business. Ron himself has invested in more than 3,000 single-family homes himself. So he knows what he's doing. He's been through all the failures and the mistakes to teach us and other students.
Our folks come in, they start wherever they like. I like to teach people how to be a transaction engineer. There's all kinds of ways to make money in real estate. And if you only see one way, then you're walking through the business with blinders on and usually walking over the dollars to get to the dimes. Real estate is a vehicle to generate cash, not to bury cash.
It's amazing, just 2 years ago when I was working a day job at a restaurant and quitting that to go do the real estate full time, I've made more money in one transaction than I ever made in 1 year working at a restaurant.
My goal is to get people out of a job and into freedom by taking control of their own financial destiny. It's all about freeing up your time so you can enjoy life.
Because of Ron LeGrand, we were able to triple our income and go from 6 figures a year to 7 figures a year within that first year of meeting Ron.
From the common objection, I don't have time, I don't have money, it's not for me. Ron's had 18-year-old kids go through this program, make $30,000. It works for anybody.
We have a community, and that's what it is. It's a community. It's a great big family. So we're not going to run you in a seminar and love you and leave you in the morning. We're going to be there when you get out of the seminar, and we expect this relationship to keep going for a lot of years into the future. Once you enter Planet Ron, as I call it, you're in it for life.
Well, hello there and welcome. You're going to have a great seminar coming up. I hope you're ready to take notes, and I hope you're ready to take screenshots. Some of them you're going to want to shoot, and if you can't do screenshots, you might want to get your telephone out and put it on photo and take some photos of it. That's how I take notes at the seminars I go to. Okay. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Ron LeGrand, and been around for a long time. In my 44th year now, started in 1982. Yeah, this is the 44th year. Still going, still buying houses. In fact, I'll introduce you to my acquisitionist right now. His name is Adel, and his family was in the restaurant business just before he met me. And, you know, he hated to sell those restaurants, but they sold them all. It was a bad day for him, right, Adel?
Oh, worst day of my life.
Yeah, right. Okay. John, you going to put him up here so they can see him? There he is. Look at there. Now, I want you all to take a look at this guy, and you tell me if he can do it, can you do it? I mean, he don't look all that smart, does he?
I'm not.
No, yeah, he is. Anyway, my whole real estate business is him. He does all the work. I do nothing. And that's kind of the way I'd like to get you. I'd say maybe within your first year or shortly thereafter, so that your business runs without you, no matter what that business is, and you can get freed up to do some of the things you want to do in life that you've been putting off because you're swapping hours for dollars. So Adel, I'm going to ask you a question. I want a true answer now.
Okay. Yes, sir.
About how many hours a week do you put into buying houses?
8 to 10. 10 has been lately. I've been putting a little bit more work in lately, so I'll go up to 10.
All right. Yeah. Okay. So anybody that thinks this is a full-time job, don't get it. Okay. It's a part-time job with a full-time income, and I'm about to demonstrate that to you. All right. Okay. I'll be calling on you throughout. You want to grab a mic and go back there?
We'll do.
Okay. Let me get through my punch list here. You're going to learn about wholesaling tonight, which is the fastest way to make money there is in real estate is wholesaling, which is why so many people coming into the industry want to do that, because frankly, you don't have to know much to wholesale houses. We're going to cover that tonight. Now, look, I do all kinds of deals on all kinds of houses. We just did a creative financing or term seminar just a little while ago. Some of you were on that. That's all about the pretty houses in the pretty neighborhoods where you don't have any rehabs. Tonight, we're going to deal with houses that need rehabbed, but that doesn't mean we're going to buy houses tonight. We're just going to make money without using money, and I'll prove it to you. John, how are we going to handle questions tonight?
Yeah,
Today?
so all you guys watching, you'll have the chat comment section on the right side of your screen. Just go in there, type in your question for Ron. If you put a Q in front of it, it helps us. It just helps us know that this is a question you want me to read to Ron a little bit later. So just put Q and then your question for Ron. I'll mark it. And once we get to the Q&A session time, we will answer all your questions.
Okay, we'll take a few throughout, John. Just let me know when we got getting a bunch of them collected. Now, folks, do me a favor. Make sure that the questions you ask are on subjects we just covered. Now, near the end, if we haven't covered it yet, please put them up there. I welcome your questions because they lead to things that I'm not going to teach tonight. So the folks listening are just as important to your training tonight as I am. Make sure that your question makes sense to somebody who didn't write the question. Okay, we're going to get some, and know we are. Okay, ask yourself, if you're on the other end of that, can you answer that question? Does it make sense? And make sure it does, assuming that you're not the one that wrote it, and we'll get it answered. I've got some things that we're going to some paperwork throughout. I'll talk about it when I get to it, but I'm going to give you some documents tonight. You're going to learn about wholesaling tonight. I'm going to give you a chance to get the course I have on wholesaling and to get the best deal I've ever had since 1991 when I started doing the 4-day boot camps on that as well. You can decide where you want to go from there. All right, so I got to bring you to bear. It's up to you if you're going to skin him or not. Now, you can find me all over the web. I'm just about everywhere you can think of. But if you're not on my podcast, please write that one down. It's thementorpodcast.com, thementorpodcast.com. It's every Wednesday, and we got some awfully great interviews that we've done. If you go and register, you'll get access to all the archives, and there's a ton of them. I don't know how long I've been doing this podcast. It's been a long time. And some of them I just get on there and teach. So won't be hard to find me, I can tell you that. All right. So I think that's about all I got here tonight on the punch list, John. So let's get it rolling here. All right. It's exactly what we're going to talk about today. How to make the fastest and easiest money in real estate today with wholesaling. A little bit about me. I've been around forever. Been around so long, people are starting to call me Moses. Some call me the Godfather. I'm always into several different businesses. My main business is what I'm doing and teaching. Global Publishing is the company that brought this to you tonight. And of course, my wife and I own the company, and that company is 26 or 27 years old now. I started back in 1982. My very first boot camp I did was in 1991. Been doing them ever since, every single year. I train the trainers. A lot of the people you know that are training now are my students who then turned into trainers, and many of them with my help. So I've spoken to some of the biggest platforms in the country. I've hired some of the biggest names you can think of, including our current president, to speak one time. Big arenas and small arenas. I've been in arenas so big I can't even see the audience because the lights are so bright shining on me. So all of that aside, my goal here tonight is to just teach you how to simply control single family houses, flip them, and get a check. The easiest way to make money in real estate there is. I got a $495 gift for you at the end. Whether you purchase or not, I'm going to give you a $500 gift. There's 3 ways to profit right here. And wholesale and retailing we call the ugly house business. That's rehabbing and retailing like you see on TV. And then there's the pretty house business that I covered a little while ago. That's the beautiful houses and beautiful neighborhoods, no upper price. And we make money on them, not with what the price we buy them, but on terms we create. And I'll tell you now, and I told you then, the real money is in the pretty house business. It is where the real wealth is. But tonight, we're going to generate some fast, easy checks for you in the thousands. And I don't think anybody's got any objection to that. I want you to learn it all. I want you to learn all the business so that you don't walk over the dollars to get to the dimes and constantly focusing on one thing so much, like buying junkers. By the way, you can't find junkers without finding pretty houses. You can't find the pretty houses without finding the junkers. So you need to deal with whatever comes at you. And there's only two ways you can wholesale. Number one, you can just sign the contract, which is all of our favorites, because we don't have to buy the house. I'll show you in a minute. And number two, you'll have to close on it and then quickly resell it. So that means you got to raise the money to buy it, but you can sell it at the same closing if you want to, or you can sell it later if you want to. I've done both. Sometimes I just write a check to buy them, take my time selling them, and get the maximum price for it, and take the time restrictions off of me, because usually when you put a property under contract for 30 days, and you know what happens if you don't get a buyer in 30 days. I tell you, if you don't, there's something wrong. You probably paid too much and you're asking too much, but irregardless, sometimes, you know, it pays to raise the money and close on it. In fact, I'll even send you some information on how you do that tonight. And of course, when you get to my 4-day event, we're going to spend some time on that and make sure you're not worried about where the money's coming from. A lot of people do not get in this business because they're worried about where the money comes from. And if you need money, there's only one thing you need it for, and that's to pay cash for a house that you intend to buy and rehab or hold until you wholesale it at maximum price. Because you're going to see very quickly, money has nothing to do with wholesaling houses. If you listen, don't need money and you don't need credit. There's 5 steps to running this business, or any business for that matter, regardless of the product or service. Got to locate prospects. If you don't locate prospects, you don't need to worry about the other 4 steps because you don't have a business. Therefore, you know, we got to touch on that tonight. And of course, I spent a half a day just on that at the first day of my 4-day training. Pre-screening prospects. Very easy to pre-screen them. Very easy. It's just 1 or 2 sentences to pre-screen your prospects. Making offers on them. We don't make offers. We let the seller make us offers, as you'll see. We've learned a long time ago to not tell anybody what we'll pay till we find out what they're willing to take. And that's in and outside of real estate. Get an agreement. It's very simple agreements. In fact, it's the simplest agreement of all the agreements. To get a pay, the agreement is you're going to pay all cash for the property. You're going to have 30 days to do it. Gives you more than enough time to wholesale it and let somebody else bring in the money and buy it directly from the seller, and you get a check for being in the middle. And to sell quickly. In the wholesaling business, you should be in and out in less than 30 days, or something is wrong. Locate prospects. You got 2 places to get them: inside the MLS and outside the MLS. They're called FSBOs, for sale by owners. And I'm telling you right now, you're going to have a hard time today to get deals in the MLS. Because there's so many people out there, so many greater fools out there paying too much right now that it's hard to get anything in the MLS that makes sense. I had them every single day. They come to my phone automatically, and I don't even open them anymore. Frankly, I'm tired of looking at overpriced houses. So you're going to learn what to pay for these houses along the way. But I'm telling you right now, your real money is attracting for by sale by owners to contact you. That's where the real money is. You're dealing directly with the seller. And you're going to create better deals than you're ever going to get in the MLS. I mean, you're not going to come close to the amount that what they're going to charge you in the MLS to buy the property. So focus on FSBOs, and that's where your real money is. In fact, that applies to both the pretty house and the ugly house business. I'm going to give you an entire course on finding deals if you like what you see tonight. You're looking for houses that need renovated, period. Need renovated. They don't need renovated. You're not going to wholesale them. You're not going to wholesale them because you're not going to buy them cheap enough to sell them to an investor who wants to rehab and retail them. So when we get to finding deals, I got it later on in the presentation tonight, but I'm going to give you some tips tonight. But again, I'm going to do a whole course on it if we get together tonight. So pre-screening prospects. All right. Pre-screening prospects means that somebody has got to get what we call a property information sheet filled out that looks like this, and I'm going to give you a link to get to it here before it's over, along with some other paperwork. And we have virtual assistants that'll do this for you. What you've got to do is hire them. All right. They call the seller. They fill this thing out, which is where all the information is. And you'll know when you get this, whether it's an ugly house or a pretty house. Because one of the questions on here, does the house need repairs? And then what's your guesstimate of how much? And right then and there, you're going to know that it needs rehab. And it's likely vacant, most likely. That's where all the deals are. Now, this PI sheet is also applying to your terms deals. Same sheet, no matter what kind of deal it is. Your VA fills this out for you. Your virtual assistant calls your seller and tracks them down and fills this out for you so that you don't have to do that, because that's a lot of work. And I'm trying to get you out of doing all that work and trying to get you, you can use your brain and use outsourced entities that we spent so many years putting in place for you. So there's nothing for you to do but make decisions. You know, I got a book called The Less I Do, The More I Make, and that's what it's all about. That means get out of your business and focus on only what you can do. And frankly, there's not anything in your business that you can't get somebody else to do. I'm a pretty good example of that. About the only thing I do anymore is teach and then communicate with Adel every now and then. Everything else is done by others. ronsva.com, if you make a note of that, that's where you can go get the information on our virtual assistants. Now, of course, if you want to buy out of the MLS, you're never going to talk to the seller. I know you know that. You're going through a realtor. And, you know, it wouldn't hurt you to look, see if you can find anything that makes sense where you live. I'm going to give you the formula here in a minute. But like I'm going to tell you right now, nothing's going to come close to what you get on these FSBO deals. That's on Amazon if you want it. I'm going to send you the PI sheet. I'm going to send you a link to it here, but that's what it looks like. And then right there is the middle of it. And it says there, does the house need repairs? That gives you an indication right there about how much you're talking about that it needs. And of course, if you get a hold of somebody with an ugly house that needs renovated, they're going to tell you that right off the bat. Again, we don't make offers. We ask questions and let the seller make us an offer. And here's the question. If I paid you all cash and closed quickly, what's the least you could take? I should have put on there after that in parentheses, shut up. Okay. Wait for an answer. Don't talk the seller to death. Wait for an answer. Then when they give you an answer, your next question is that the best you can do? By those two questions, you'll know pretty quick if you got a deal on this house, if you have any idea what the value of the house is after it's renovated. All right. And of course, that's part of your training as well, figuring out what the ARV is. So all your leads are either going to be terms deals or wholesale deals or no deal. And most of them are going to be no deal. We're playing with the numbers. You're just like any business. You got to start with a lot of prospects to get them down to suspects, to get them down to people that you can work with. All right. You're going to be doing the same thing with people who sell houses and other people that want to buy them from you. That step 4, follow up. That means get it under contract. You get it under contract when you're visiting the house with the seller or virtually. Today, you'll do more virtuals than you will meeting anybody at the house. That's just the world we live in today. I have students buying houses all over the country, way outside of the states where they live, because today we don't have to go see the house. If we got somebody else to go take a peek at it for us, and frankly, that's easy to find somebody to do that. So no matter where the house is in, I hang around people at wholesale 250, 300 houses a year. And I can tell you right now, they don't do it in one city. That's multiple states and multiple cities. And wherever they got boots on the ground and go look at the house, when you get them under contract, they do that virtually. And then they put them right back on the web and sell them virtually. So that's how they get to do that many houses in a year. You don't need to do that many, but it's available if you want it when you're ready. There's your standard purchase and sale agreement. There's the front of it. Let me see what it looks like. It looks just like this, see? Okay. I can't see that. All right. Now, which way I want to go? Here, that way, see? Front and back. And I got to tell you, the agreement that you fill out on a wholesale deal is the simplest agreement you're ever going to fill out. I mean, anybody can fill this out with about 3 minutes worth of study. I can fill the thing out in 90 seconds, and so can you, because there's just a few blanks on there you got to fill out. You're going to get that contract in the gift I'm going to give you tonight. You need 3 things before you agree on a price. Number 1, you have to figure out what the ARV is. That's the after repaired value. What's the house worth in excellent condition, ready to sell, assuming it was rehabbed? That's the number you're going to use to determine what you're going to pay, even though that's not the condition of the house right now. ARV means after repaired value, not as is. And we got a system where you can look it up right there sitting at your desk, and you can pull up the ARV on all many houses that you want, and the system does that all for you. I'll talk to you about that later. Not knowing the ARV and just throwing a number at it is the way amateurs do it and the way they piss off everybody they work with because it's a waste of their time. There's a system to determining what you're going to pay on these junkers. Not complicated, but there is a system. You got to guesstimate the repairs. Now, in my system, especially in my 4-day training, definitely going to spend some time on this one, because you, as the owner of the property, got to have some kind of idea what it's going to cost to rehab it. And I've done all that for you. All you've got to do is go down the page and fill in the blanks on what the house actually needs. And in our CRM system, we got a system now where you go make a list of what the house needs. While you're looking at it, come back and plug it into the computer, and it'll tell you what the cost of the rehab is going to be. And it's pretty darn close. I mean, it's never been easier to do this business than it is right now. So you're going to need some kind of repair estimate. Just for the record, you ain't never going to be right. I've renovated over 1,000 houses in my life, and I ain't got one right yet. But it doesn't matter, because the repair estimate is not where you're going to get in trouble. Your repair estimate is not something that you need to lay awake at night, because your safety factor, if you call it, is in your offer. It's not in your repair estimate. And we'll get to the offer and you'll see what I'm talking about. And we make repair estimates instead of looking at the picture of the house. Because the truth is, my model house is a 1,200 square foot house, single story. I can look at the house and tell you what the repairs are good enough. It's either going to be 40,000, 50,000, or 60,000 to renovate that house. All right. If you do as many of them as I have, if you finally get the message, it's going to be in there somewhere. And the truth is, it don't make any difference which one you pick if your offer is correct, as I'll show you in a second. You're not going to need to raise money unless you're going to rehab a house. Now, if you want to rehab a house, you got to raise the money to buy it, fix it, and hold it until you get it rehabbed. 6 months later, you get to sell it. We do that. I got 2 or 3 of them out there right now. But I'm going to tell you, when you get to wholesaling, you're probably not going to want to rehab houses. And I got to tell you, I'm about to show you some samples and houses that we made money on and never owned the property. So here's the Mayo formula. Mayo means maximum allowable offer. All right, this is the number you have to get to before you can accept an offer or know what to make an offer to the seller on. Mayo means Mayo is determined by R times 70% minus repairs. So a $200,000 R times 70% is 140, minus 40 in repairs is a $100,000 Mayo. Now, what's it say right below that? You better take a picture of that. We don't pay Mayo. We don't come close to Mayo, because Mayo is about what you're going to sell it at. And there better be a nice profit in there. And that needs to be at least $10,000 below Mayo. I'll tell you what I've kind of been using lately as a formula. And write this one down. I'm figure out what I'm going to offer. I've guesstimated at the repairs. I want to add those two together. And I want the house to be worth at least $100,000 more than those two combined. Because if I were to renovate it, I want to net 50 grand on it. Now, the other 50 grand is going to go to expenses, because any house I renovate, a realtor sells them. Right? Got a contract on one just yesterday, I think. So I got to have plenty of room in there. This is stuff they don't show you on the TV, incidentally. I hope you're not watching the television to get trained on how to do the real estate business. They leave out about half the message. It'll tell you about all those costs in the middle between the time you get a rehab and, like closing costs and holding costs and insurance and taxes and all of that. They just tell you what they bought it for, what they spent on rehab, and what it sold for, and all that's supposed to be profit. That's a fake news. Trust me, that ain't even close to being right. So anyway, there's your Mayo formula. Grab it. People are using it all over the country. It's kind of the industry standard now. So I'll see if I practice what I preach. I'm going to show you some samples. Okay, these are houses that Adel, by the way, found and brought in. Now there's a couple of messages here. First message. I want you to look at the house. I hope it's not your dream house, but I will tell you it's somebody's dream house once it's renovated. And that's what you're looking at. I mean, my model is 1,200 square foot house, give or take, in the lower end neighborhoods, not necessarily in the crack zone where, people are getting killed right and left, but I'm telling you, they ain't far out of that. And, they're not beautiful houses to you watching. I hope they're not anyway. We need to raise your standards a little bit. This is a starter home. Our last time home. For many people, it's a long-term home. Now I want you to look at the numbers. The R on that house is $175,000. Now I'm in Jacksonville, Florida, and that's low ball here. I mean, that's a low inexpensive house here. Our median price now is about $300,000. All right. You need to find out what your median price is, because you'll see here in a minute why you need to know that. In fact, you can ask Siri. Siri will tell you. Just ask your phone, or Google will tell you what's the median price house and wherever you live. Now, Adel got that under contract for $48,000. Adel, was that a estate sale or what? I don't know.
Yes, sir. Came from probate.
Came from probate?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So he sent a postcard to whom?
Postcard to the heir.
Is that the mic on?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Postcard to the
The
heir.
heir, yeah.
All right. Not to the dead person.
No, sir. I put
Okay.
the address of the person who passed away's house. That's who that is.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
And by the way, our CRM system called Dreams Pro, you can produce a list of those people right off of that, right, in just a few minutes. And if you're going to mail, we're going to mail to targeted prospects, as you're going to see. So the seller accepted 48 grand. Do you remember what they were asking?
I think they were asking 50. I didn't. Yeah.
50?
Yeah. I didn't push too hard.
I thought it was 60. I think
That
it's
was
more.
the other one. Oh, four. The one's coming up next.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So the seller agreed. Now this house has been vacant for quite a while, and it was ugly inside, ugly outside, and we figured it needed at least 50 in repairs. And so we accepted his $48,000 offer. I want you to look at those numbers down there. We sold that house for $85,000. We never touched it. We did not buy it. We did not pay any closing cost, and our total investment was $10. I want to soak into you. Total investment was $10. We were in that house and out of that house in 9 days and got a check for $37,000. By the way, look at the Mayo, $72,500. All right, look at our purchase price, $48,000. Do you see the difference? And do you see why I don't care what the repair costs are? There's plenty of room in there because of the offer, not because we got the repair estimate correct. So 37 grand in 9 days with a $10 investment. Try to explain that to your CPA. You'll think there's something illegal going on here for sure. All right. Never owned the house. Think about that. How much credit did we need to do that one? None. How much money did we need? We needed $10. Okay. So when you're sitting here thinking, I haven't got the money, I don't know why I'm watching this because I don't have the money. You ought to do the money to do what exactly? Put up $10? Drink one less cup of Starbucks and that'll handle that. There's another one. This one's even better. Look at the net down there. $52,000 on a house we never bought. Sold it for $112, contracted it to buy for $60, needed $40, $50 in repairs. Look at the Mayo. $121, look what we paid for it, $60. All right. Now, I'm not going to tell you you're going to get them all that cheap. By the way, this person died 11 years ago and their heirs were selling it as well. So this was another estate sale, wasn't it?
Yes, sir. Yeah. Probate letter.
Yeah, I think so. And it was trashed inside. There was trash piled up all over the place inside this house. But that didn't stop us from netting 52 grand in 11 days. 27,000 on this one. And frankly, I think I did buy it. I did close on this one because I know I had to put a roof on it. And then we sold it to a couple of owner occupants, and it would have never got through the inspection if we didn't put the roof on there. So only netted $27,000 on it. I know nobody's going to feel sorry for us. Took us 35 days because of that. Now look at the inside of this thing. Maybe that's why we bought it cheap, so cheap. I tell you what, when we walk into a house that looks like that, we get excited. We get excited. And I love cat urine. Cat urine just turns me on. The uglier it is, the better I like it. Now we're getting down low because minimum I want to make on these things is about 20 grand. That doesn't mean I'm going to take less, but in this case, I had to take 15 grand or nothing, and it didn't take me long to figure that 15 grand is better than nothing. So purchase price was 79. R was about 205. Repairs were 35 probably. And we sold it for 99.9 as is, where it is, didn't touch it. Took us 16 days, and we had a $10 deposit in it. Last one. Now, I hope that's nobody's dream home. And frankly, that was in a pretty rough area. We netted 13.5 on that one. And so far, that's the low least that we've done so far because, you know, I keep telling Adel, we want more than that out of these things. But again, bad area, or we'd have got more. Took 16 days to sell that one. Now, what's this all amount to? Look at this. We netted. I said netted $145,000 over a 2-month period from the first one to the last one. All of them were contracted and sold within that 2-month period. Try to explain that to your CPA. And now I'm going to tell you, these are perfect candidates for your Roth IRA. I'll come back to that in a minute because I think you'd probably rather do this tax-free rather than tax would be my guess. And how many of those you need to quit your job if you have a job? I don't want anybody to go quit their job on the hope this thing going to work for you. You need to get out there and get some deals done first because it's part-time, but it's full-time money. Go prove it to yourself. And then if you want to quit, you can quit. And you got the freedom that you've been looking for most of your life if you're still working for somebody else. Does this work? I guess it works. I got these all over our building here. Here's one I got. These are all wholesale deals too. $20,000 on this one in Oregon. That's her first deal. Look at this one. $50,400 on her first deal in Louisiana. 50 grand on one deal that she didn't buy. 67 grand on this one. Where is that? Florida. 67 grand on one deal. 5,500. I'll take whatever you got. I'll take a small check. I'll take a big check. I got a small check. My first check was only $3,000 back in 1982, but that was a $3,000 very important to me because it was already spent before I got my hands on it. And of course, that was 1982. I don't know what that 3,000 is worth today. 7,000. First deal is the most important deal you're going to do because it's proving to you you can do it. And make sure you keep proof of that. Make a copy of the check. And somebody gives you a hard time telling you it won't work here, it won't work now, hold up the check and say, go away, leave me alone. We call those dream stealers. $35,000 in Florida, Boca Raton. I think that's Boca Raton, isn't it? Yeah. 35 grand on one house, first house. These are all first deals. 30 grand in Texas. 23 grand in Florida. Come down and see me. I got these things all over my building. All our walls are covered with them. So I'm doing my 4-day trainings here in Jacksonville, Florida. I hope you have a chance to come down and look at my office here and look at these are all over the place. And we got them stacked up. We haven't even put them on the wall yet. So this is proof, ladies and gentlemen. This means this stuff works. I don't care where you live. I don't care if you got any money. I don't care if you got, I hope your credit score is minus 550 because you're not going to need it on anything in Planet Ron. I don't care. Pretty house, ugly house. You don't need credit. You don't need to borrow money. You don't need to do all them things that people think you got to do. And the last thing I want you to do is go into the bank and put up a down payment and guarantee a debt to buy a house. That's a fool's game. That's a fool's game. Be careful of who you listen to on the internet because they're teaching all that BRR burr crap. Problem with that burr crap is he wants you to go refinance the house and guarantee the debt. Goes on your credit report. 80%, you get some money out of the house, you go spend it, and you got a 30-year debt left. And people forget that house is going to want some of that money back along the way if they want to keep it and put a rented in there or even a tenant buyer in there. So refinancing doesn't do anything but dig the hole deeper every time you go do it. I want to remind you, I've been at this for 44 years. I can't tell you how many people I've seen go out because of that mistake. Big mistake. Learn how to buy houses without guaranteeing debt, and you can buy as many as you want. And nobody will stop you. Number 5, step 5, got under contract. Now it's time to order a title search. That's your next step. Now, when you do that, title okay, you start advertising. Remember, you don't do anything to the house. You don't touch the house. And 2 places. What do you think, Adel? Is that true? The Facebook marketplace and Craigslist? Nothing, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely in your local market. Facebook groups is definitely where to start. Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's where you get plenty of leads. Now, folks, selling these wholesale houses is about the easiest sale in a house you're ever going to make because you need to think about it this way. When you're selling that investor a house, you're selling him a business opportunity. Okay, he's going to take that house, fix that house, sell that house, and make money on it. So trust me, there's way more houses or investors than there are houses looking for deals. You give them the deal, the money's going to come quick. In fact, you're going to have to pick the best one. It's not a matter of selling them; it's a matter of picking the one that you think is going to close the quickest and gives you the price you're asking. Select your buyer, and then get an assignment signed. Which in a package, a paperwork that I'm going to send you a link to, and then you just send it to. Well, you get the assignment signed. You get a deposit from your buyer, is at least $1,000. Get it from Cash App or Venmo or Chime or PayPal or however. You don't even have to meet the person. You probably will never meet the person. Send them the assignment. and they're going to want from you a copy of your contract and the price that you want for the house, which is right there. They're going to see what you're going to make. Don't worry about that, because if they're worried about that, they're not your buyer. It's that simple. In fact, most of the investors out there now that will buy from wholesalers know they're going to make a profit on them, and most of them already know you don't have the contract. You haven't even closed on the house yet. They don't care. They just care what the numbers look like to them. So when you get the assignment, now you've got an agreement, get it signed, get the money, then you send it to closing agent. Closing agent does the rest and sends you a check. That's all there is to it. Anybody can do this business. I'm going to give you a copy of the assignment. I got a brand new assignment that covers some new laws going around the country. Some of those laws say that you have to disclose that you have a contract, but that you don't own the house. Whoop-de-doo. That assignment does it for you. All right, here's your recap. Find a seller. Take a picture of that, because that puts it all, narrows it down to a nutshell right there. There's your steps. Get the contract, check the title, put it on the market, choose your buyer, send it to the title company. And by the way, you want to make sure your buyer can close within the next 10 or 15 days. And if they can't, they're not your buyer. Gotta be careful. If they tell you they need 30 days, they just want to put it under contract and wholesale it. Okay. The nerve of these people. You don't need them. You don't need them. All right. If they can't close within 10 or 15 days, they're not ready to buy the house. They got the money already, or they got the private lenders already. I don't care. So we're not dealing with any terms. We're not dealing with any banks, and they don't have to get financing or any of that crap. And if they do need financing, it's from a private lender, which is almost as good as having cash, because there ain't none of that junk you got to go through to get private money. Title company will wire you the money. You don't even go to a closing agent anymore. You don't show up with a buyer on the other side of the table, none of that stuff. We're in a virtual world today. Everything is sent to you, you sign it, you send it back, and very simple. You don't even have to leave your desk to sell a house wholesale. You can sell a house from your house in a wheelchair, if applicable, because you don't have to go anywhere, and you can send somebody else out, take a look at the house, take pictures of what the inside of it looks like, and quickly you're going to be able to throw a number at that. And if you don't, we're here to help you. What's your risk? All $10. You see, if you don't buy that house, if you don't close on it, you lose your deposit. All $10. FSBOs could care less about their deposit, ladies and gentlemen. If you're going through the MLS, they want $1,000. FSBOs don't even talk about the deposit. We just give it to them to bind the contract, because that's the general belief. Truth is, they don't even need $10. Whether you know it or not, consideration, it could be love and affection. It don't have to be money, but give them $10. Now, if you're going to use your IRA, you're probably going to want you to give them $100. There's no law to that effect. That's just what, I'm told by the owners of the IRA companies. Now, I use directedira.com. If you want to write that down, get a screenshot. They do a great job, and they're the cheapest one out there. They charge $395 a year, period, no matter how big your IRA gets. And they want you to build your IRA, and they'll help you with that. But honestly, if you go to directedira.com, you can fill out the form and have an IRA open in 20 minutes. 20 minutes. If I were you, I'd put at least $1,000 in it, because then that's a contribution, because that will cover all the earnest money deposits on several houses that you want to buy. By the way, if you're going through a realtor, we don't put up the deposit until after it's accepted and we've been out and inspected it. I make offers before I go to the house. That'll goes out to most of them before we make the offer, but so I've done it both ways. But all you got to do is decide that you want to buy it in your IRA and never pay taxes on it. In a Roth IRA, you'll never, ever pay taxes on the sale of that property, any money you collect on it. I'm telling you, if you use your IRA, your wealth will go 10 times faster not taxed than it will taxed. So you got to keep that in mind. I'm not telling you to do every deal you can possibly do in your IRA. I know you need some money for other things, but when you get to the point where you can live without the money coming out of these houses, which I hope most of you are, start thinking to yourself, should I do this in my IRA? There's no better deal to do in your IRA than these wholesale deals. Quick, in and out. Here's a bunch of cash. Put up $10, and here comes $37,000 or whatever that number is. I'm telling you, a lot of people have a hard time understanding that. So I want you to be clear. It has nothing to do with your contribution. I don't care if you ever make another contribution, which is only about $6,000 anyway. You're never going to get rich just contributing $6,000 to your IRA. But you're going to get rich by taking $10 and turn it into $37,000 or $52,000. That's how you get wealthy. And then then you just figure out what you want to do with that cash that you got in your IRA, because you need to invest it outside of real estate. In fact, I use my IRA sometimes to pay cash for houses and then quickly turn them around, when I buy time and take any pressure off of selling it within 30 days. I can't think of any better thing to get a higher rate of return on it. I have now got my IRAs buying stocks. I am in the stock market. I'm a student of the stock market right now. And frankly, I'm doing okay for being a beginner in it. The more I learn, the more I'm going to buy. That's what I'm doing with my IRAs right now. I'm buying stocks with them in options. And then occasionally houses when we don't flip them before time runs out on us. So I hope you got that message. I hope it came through. Remember these houses. We put up a very small amount of money. We got back a great big old chunk of money. We didn't do anything, didn't take any risks, didn't sign any notes, didn't have anybody check, no form to fill out, no credit being checked, none of that crap. No repairs to do, no nothing. Get on contract, sell the contract. And make sure that you learn the rules about doing an IRA now. You can't make any money off of a house that you're doing in your IRA. You just keep that. You can't get compensated in any way on that house, except, of course, when you get ready to retire and draw it out of your IRA. Be careful with that one, because that's called self-dealing, and IRS will really punish you if they catch you doing that. There's others. You can't live in the house. Your kids can't live in it. Parents, child, anything in your linear descent can't have anything to do with this house, or any entities that you control. So you got to make sure that everything you do on your IRA side is kept by itself. And don't get mingled with your other stuff, and you'll be all right. Tax free. In fact, I'm going to give you a chance to get my entire IRA course so you can study this and find out it's not that complicated. Once you learn the rules, you got them. All right. There's no limit. We went through that one. How long does it take? You should be in and out within 30 days or less. Can you really do this without money? No. It takes $10. Remember? $10. Hey, hard to believe, isn't it? I know it's hard to believe, but that's what it takes. All right. So now do you see why most people want to start wholesaling houses? Well, I don't blame them. I did. It's the easiest way to make money in the real estate business, but that's not where I want you to stay. Okay. Let's get you out there doing some wholesale deals and get some money, and then we'll move on up. We'll get you into the terms deals. And if you want to do some rehabbing, we teach that as well. But that's first things first. Okay. You don't have to know everything about the business to go wholesale houses. Everything you need to do this whole business is right at your fingertips. I'm going to give you a chance to enter wherever you want when I'm through here today, but I've never seen a business. I've had 6 restaurants to prove it. I've never seen a business with such high potential, great big checks and such small, little teeny old overhead. Certainly ain't the restaurant business, is it, Adel?
Definitely not the restaurant. I think we had 100,000 was our break-even point in the restaurant business.
Yeah, about true for me too. And in a lot of months I didn't break even. Guess who got to write a check? Yeah, Papa. And think about all the people that are in the restaurant business. They work their ass off. They're tied to the business. They don't have any freedom. They can't go away. The place will fall apart on them. I never did work inside of mine, but I don't have them anymore. Maybe that's why. You just don't. You just feel like if you leave the business, it's going to pot, and so they're stuck. They haven't figured out that they can replace themselves in the business yet. But that's the only way mom and pop businesses are going to succeed, and that's if they're there watching the money, because it's going to go out the door if they're not there. Trust me, I know. I got everything you need to get your first deal done here, right at your fingertips for extremely low half price today. So hold on, we're getting there. Wholesaling my way. Includes all the forms and agreements you need. In fact, I'm going to send you most of those. In fact, I'm probably going to send you all of them here. I'll give you a link here in a little bit. Also information on our virtual assistants, and also information on other services like Pat Live, which I'll get to here in a second, taking all your calls 24 hours a day. All your training videos and the manual you print out. and simple things you got to do to get this job done to get a check. Step-by-step instructions, how to determine the R. Now, I'm going to teach that in the course, but I'm going to tell you right now, maybe you can be playing with it before I see you. You know, what's R stand for? It starts for after repaired value. So when I pull up the comps in our dream system, we see a whole bunch of sales right there in line order, what they sold for, bedrooms and baths, square footage, and so forth, and what their address is. Okay, I'm always looking. There's only going to be a batch on any comp you pull up. There's not going to be pages of them, just, I don't know, 10, 12, 15 of them. And I'm looking for the highest ones that sold for the highest price, the top two that sold for the highest price that are close in square footage to my subject. When I find those two, then I've got my two comps. So then I determine from that what my realistic ARV is. Today, I would suggest that you be a little conservative on your ARV, because the truth is values are declining on these houses pretty much across the country. I know they are here. So they went up so fast a couple of years ago that now they're adjusting, and some of that's coming back off the top, to be expected, just like stocks, I guess. That's the problem with rehabbing today. By the time I can buy the house, get the contractor, get them through the house, and get them through the repair cycle, and then get it sold, I'm looking at 6 months. Okay, and don't kid yourself that it's going to be shorter. It might be, but it might be longer. So you add all that up, taking a lot of money away from your profit. All right, so you better get the R right and not be too not force it up. Instead, be a little bit conservative on it, so you can cut yourself some slack and understand that it's going to take longer to rehab that house, assuming you're the one rehabbing it. And if you're not, imagine your rehabber is looking at it from the same way. Time right now is not our friend, it's our enemy on rehabbing houses. Wholesale, not a problem. 10, 15 days, I got my money. I'd estimate repairs from your desk. That's part of the course, and that's part of my boot camp. We do it live in my boot camp, and I prove it to you. I prove it to you because I went into Lowe's and I'm taking pictures of things you put in a house with the price tags right above them. Okay, it don't cost anywhere near what you think it costs to renovate these houses, and that's part of your training. I think I know I go through that in the wholesale course, but a lot deeper when we get to the boot camp. I don't know what your maximum offer would be. I showed you the formula, but you know, there's some things you got to take in consideration along the way. For example, I showed you a 1,200 square foot house. What happens if you're looking at a 2,000 square foot house? Do you double everything? No. You know, whether it's 2,000 2-story or 1,200 1-story, still only got one roof. Okay. I got a lot here with 1,000 foot, and I got a lot here with a 2,000 foot house on them. The lot's worth the same no matter what you build on it. So I can't double the price of the lot just because it's on a bigger house. Things like that you'll learn along the way. You have to adjust as the number of square foot goes up on the house. I'd avoid risk. That's my favorite thing to help you do. I want to help you avoid risk so you don't have to go through some of the problems that people have had in this industry when they didn't do the things right, went out and guaranteed a bunch of debt, and then the 2008 came along and all kinds of other influences that can come upon you, which you have no control over whatsoever. I want you to put this in your head. Think about this. If you don't guarantee debt, there's no way they can hurt you. They can't come after a debt you didn't guarantee. I hope you remember that. We buy houses with non-recourse money when we're buying pretty houses. That means there's no personal guarantee. That means the only thing we could possibly lose is that house. Nobody's going to sue you personally because you don't own the house. Teach you how to take title in it using a land trust as well. So nobody even knows what you own. So again, part-time business, full-time income. Take you a little while. Got all the systems for you, folks. I'm telling you, we got everything you need that you're going to outsource to or that you're going to plug into. You don't have to go out and find a bunch of stuff to tap into. You don't have to go out and listen to 10 gurus out there to teach you how to do this business, of which I'd be scared of anyway, because I see some stuff on the internet that just makes me want to gag, and stuff they're teaching people. what they're teaching them to do is get themselves in trouble. Like that Burr theory. Where to get the money if you want to buy it, and you may want to buy it. You may want to buy it and rehab it, no problem. But you don't need credit, you don't need banks, and there's an in supply of it because we're going to get money from human beings, not from loan sharks, not from hard money lenders that want to rule the world, from human beings. When you get money from human beings, you make the rules. They don't make the rules, you make the rules. There are no points. There are no short-term 6 months payoff. There are nobody's going to even check your credit. These are human beings that want a high rate of return on their money. And there's trillions of dollars worth out there in people's IRAs alone. So you're doing them a favor by allowing them to put a loan on this house and give them a high rate of return, meaning 8-9% interest. That's a high rate of return to people who don't have any idea what to do with the money they got in the bank or in their IRA. If you want to work the MLS, I'm going to teach you how to find the right agents and how to keep those agents, and what to say to those agents and what not to say to those agents, and then how to sell quickly and price it right. Look, if you're pricing it right, unless there's something really atrocious about the house is going to be ugly. But I've had a couple that were very hard to sell. I can't remember, Adel. We had one. What was a problem with that house? It took us quite a while to sell.
The foundation was,
yeah,
caved in the middle.
Just because the house was sinking, they didn't want to buy it?
It was more than just a little thinking.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know how I bought it. I actually bought that one, didn't I?
Yeah, it was me on the foreclosure. I made a big boo-boo on that one.
Oh, okay. At least he took the blame for it. Not that I got any refund or anything. We finally did sell it, but it was hard. Sent a lot of people out to it.
Yes, sir.
We should have known. Sometimes even the teachers make mistakes, just so you know. How to adopt to today's market. Yep, we better have a talk about that, because there are a few states now that have outlawed, people think they've outlawed wholesaling. They have not outlawed wholesaling. Okay. They've outlawed, some of them have outlawed signing contracts. Illinois is one. Pennsylvania, I think, is another one. And you think of the rest of them, there's only 3 or 4 of them.
Oklahoma, I think, one, you have to have a license on it. Yeah.
We got to have a license on, yeah. If you have a license, the rule don't apply, but
Yeah.
I got several ways to fix it. South Carolina
Yeah, I
might
know
be
for
one.
sure, yeah.
I'll tell you how you find out, folks. Since I don't know, you pick up your phone and you say, "Hey Siri, is there any rule against signing contracts in Jacksonville, Florida on houses?" And here it comes. I make you read something here. I don't know. I haven't got time to read here, but I already did it anyway. I know the answer is no. Okay. But there are many states now that are requiring you to put in here that you're selling a contract, and that's all you got to do, guys. And in the states where they've outlawed the signing contracts, that doesn't mean they've outlawed wholesaling houses. Remember, we can buy them and then flip them, or we can buy them outside of that state virtually, what you're going to do anyway. You're going to buy them inside your state virtually. Just as easy to do outside your state. So anyway, nobody's going to stop you from buying houses. Wherever they make a stupid rule, we'll find a way to get around it. How to set up and run your business from home for less than your electric bill. I'm telling you, your overhead in this thing is extremely small. In fact, if you spend money, it's going to be on marketing, and I'm going to show you several ways right here today how to do that, where you spend little or no money. And that's the way I want you to start anyway. I don't want you to be going out there and throwing several $1,000s in marketing until you get good at handling leads when they come in. Remember, most of them are going to be on pretty houses, right? I give you a whole script on that, which takes you're in and out of that script in about 2 minutes for most of them. When you find out that they don't want to do terms, there's no reason to have a conversation with them. So I got that all written down. All you got to do is read it and write in the answers. How to do your deals in your IRA, never pay taxes legally. Well, I hope you get this one, because that one right there is going to make you wealthy quick if you get it. If I were you, I would focus on deals that I can do in my IRA and put as many in there as fast as I can go. Build that thing. You know, there is only one creditor that can take your IRA from you. That's the IRS. No other predators can. So, perfect thing to build. Safe. And you can have one and your spouse can have one. Here's a good one. If you got children, grandchildren, or any children that you know under the age of 18, did you know that there's an IRA that you can use to do these same kind of deals in that literally will pay for your education for your child from birth to age 30. Child's got to be under 18 now, or it's too late. But it's called a CESA, C-E-S-A. Go on directedira.com. You learn all about it. Set you up. Each child gets a CESA. The CESA values the house now, or contracts it, not your IRA. $10 comes out of the CESA. $37,000 goes back into CESA. Your kids' education is paid for. Okay, if you're going to send them to Harvard, it takes 2 or 3 of them. But until they get old enough to go, you don't need to worry about it.
Hey, Ron.
Yeah.
I just wanted to clarify. Earlier, I think we had the wrong thing on the slide. It's directedira.com. So I put that in the chat section for everybody.
Okay, that's true.
And
I didn't catch it.
I think earlier, I think we had directira.com. It's directed.
All right.
Directed.
Well, I'm glad you caught it.
If you want to, we can take a couple of questions. We got a ton coming in here.
All right. Well, go ahead while we're breaking.
All right. So Dan asks, do I need a real estate license to do this?
No, unless you live in one of those states that require a license like Illinois, and then you got to decide, do I want to go license or I just want to do it outside Illinois? Easy decision. Do both. But I wish you had told me what state you live in, Dan. But anyway, go ask Siri if there's a problem. Don't ask them if wholesaling is illegal now. Ask them if signing a contract is illegal, and you get your answer right there. And then they'll probably tell you you need to disclose that you are selling the contract.
So I've got a bunch of questions about different states.
Okay.
Basically, it comes down to, is wholesaling illegal in South Carolina, Pennsylvania, my state? I've got a bunch like that.
Ask Siri. Ask Siri. I don't know. It's that simple. How'd we get along without Google?
We've got Timothy says, when dealing with a realtor, how do I get past having a true hard money proof of funds, but the realtor requires a bank statement?
That's a good question. The answer is, when you get to my quick start school, I'm going to give you one. I am your proof of funds. But remember, that's only applicable if you're going to make an offer through the MLS. And I'm telling you right now, that ain't likely going to happen. I'm also telling you, if you do, you're probably paying too much. You better re-examine it.
Okay, Ben says, what if the FSBO is free and clear and they want retail price for it? How do we get the deed low enough to wholesale?
If they want retail price, then it's not a junker that needs rehabbed, and it's the wrong target. You're not going to make money on retail price houses, period, because you're not going to get them cheap enough. Remember the ones I showed you? They were ugly, right? They need total rehab. And $50,000 rehab to us looks like 75 to 100 to people that own the house.
Patrick says, can you say what does that mean again?
Maximum allowable offer. That's not what you offer. We never pay Mayo. Don't forget that line. That might be what you sell it for.
Okay, Ben says, should the offer price have the wholesale fee already subtracted?
No. The person you're selling the house to is going to pay you X. Okay, part of that X belongs to you. The other part belongs to the seller. They'll know very quickly what you're paying because you're going to send them a copy of your contract. That's what you're assigning to them. It's only fair they see it. And then if you mark it up $15,000, $20,000, then that's the sales price to that buyer. And don't worry about what they see, because frankly, they're more interested in what they're going to make. If they're worrying about what you're going to make, they're not your buyer. Tell them to take a hike.
Vernetta asks, do you wholesale houses in 55 plus communities and condos as well?
You're likely not going to find one in those communities because they are nicer neighborhoods. And they have a less chance of getting in the condition that they need to be in for you to buy them at a wholesale price. Remember, you got it down low now. These houses should, in retail price, retail value after renovated, shouldn't be very much above your median price wherever you live. That's junker business. Your pretty house business is there and on up.
Becky asks, when is the live training in Florida?
March 20th is the next one. 20th through the 3rd, 22 to 23.
Okay, next question. What is the $10 for?
Earnest money deposit.
And Timothy says, who is your end buyer?
Someone who wants to rehab the house and sell it to a qualified couple.
We got Jesse here says, so get the contract. What does that entail? What does that mean, get the contract?
Send them out a contract, and then you fill out the contract for the price you want and a few other blanks. Send it out to them and let them sign it and send it back to you. Probably using Genius Scan or something of that nature, along with a deposit that they can send to you with, I use Cash App and I use Chime. Nowadays, you don't have to meet anybody to give them money. You can do it in an instant. And that way I'm ready. I got everything I need to get the contract over to the title company and let them close it. I might even send them the contract when I order a title search, so they'll already have that. So then all I got to do is get them the assignment of contract, and it shows how much I've already collected. And, what the balance is goes to me. And they just put that on their closing statement as a option fee or consulting fee or whatever they want to put it on there. I don't care. I don't want it to be commission, though, because commissions, you have to have a real estate license to earn a commission. It's called an option fee. That's what it is.
Juan asks, how do you prevent a seller from selling the property behind your back after locking up the contract?
Juan, I've been at this for 44 years now, thousands of deals, and I've never had a seller try to sell a property behind my back after they sign a contract. That's the crap they teach you on the internet. Scare you. It's good seminar fodder. And if they did, I am not the least bit worried because I got a legal binding contract and I'll hold them accountable. And I'm going to win. They're the ones breaching their contract. That ain't going to happen. I've had a few of them threaten from time to time. I pointed out to them the error of their ways. But you need to quit worrying about that one, man. Once the seller signs a contract, they know they've done it.
Jason asks, how do you determine a property's ARV?
Well, I can't do that. I said, Jason, I want the top 2 highest houses that sold dollars per square foot. And that tells me right there they're in good shape when they sold. And that's what mine would be. So I'm going to use those comparisons to gauge mine. We teach that on the second day of the event, and that's pretty important. And we use our Dreams Pro AI system. Guys want to write that one down, dreamspro.ai, and go look at what all that thing will do. I'll touch on it here in a minute, but it's an incredible, sure makes our business easy.
Kiki asks, do you teach IRA in the Quick Start School?
Yes, absolutely.
William says, do you have to have an LLC for an IRA?
You don't have to have, William. Well, actually, the way I want you to do is buy a house in a land trust. The land trust is owned by an LLC, and your IRA owns the LLC.
Carrie says, what about inspectors or surveys? Don't buyers want those?
Retail buyers that are getting qualified at a bank want all that junk. When I'm selling a house to wholesale to a buyer, they don't want anything. They want it, they can pay for it. Or they want a title search, they want title policy, but we make them pay for that too.
Rosie, do you have to be a U.S. citizen with a social security number to open a Roth IRA?
That's a ticklish subject that I hate answering with so many hundreds of people watching me here tonight, but the answer is yes, if you do it right, but doing it right doesn't mean you're going to do it in your name. You're probably going to have an entity to buy it in, like a land trust that doesn't require a social security number. It doesn't have a bank account. It doesn't have a corporate ID and none of that junk. And that person could be the beneficial interest. But sooner or later, somebody's going to ask them for an ID number. I don't want to get any deeper than that. That's not something I should be discussing here.
All right, we got just a few more, and I'll let you get on.
Please.
Viviana says, do you always recommend using 2 comps instead of 3 for an ARV?
2's enough. 2's enough.
As said, I'm employed with big tech and have a net worth in the low 7 figures. My goal is to increase my wealth through real estate and retire.
Okay.
My yearly TC is significant and has me in golden handcuffs while fearing layoffs. Do you recommend wholesaling for someone in my position or something else?
Yeah, wholesaling. Look, remember when you advertise, you're going to get both pretty houses and ugly houses. All right, that'll tell you what you do. If I have to pay cash or say I'm going to pay cash, I sell for cash. If I buy it on terms, I sell on terms. And that's where your wealth is going to grow, is on the terms. But there ain't nothing wrong with them $20,000, $30,000 checks along the way, is there? However, you do have to pay maximum tax on those short-term capital gain, where in the pretty house business, you'll have no tax or long-term capital gains, one of the two.
Okay, one more question and then we'll get going from John. Hey, Ron, can a Canadian do this from Canada, buying and selling in Florida?
Yes, they do it all the time, and they do it through an LLC. You know, I don't know how deeply they have to go, but when this thing closes, they're going to need an ID number, and that's the LLC is going to be the one that get an ID. I mean, you know, the IRS number. But if they're doing it from Canada and they're doing it in Florida, it's going to be ruled under Florida rules, not Canadian rules. It's where the house is, not where the person is. And that means you're probably going to need a bank account in Florida as well. So I don't know how you're going to do that, to be honest. If you're really that interested. I know a lot of Canadians are doing business here in the United States. I just don't know the minute details. I haven't talked to one lately. I got a lot of Canadian students, though. Biggest boot camp I ever had was 450 people in Calgary, Canada. Oh, was that a sea of people?
Okay, that's all for now.
right.
They're still coming in, the questions, but I'll mark those questions so you guys keep typing them in there, and
I'll
we'll
stay
answer
here
them a
till
little
you're
bit
out.
later.
All right, how do I know it'll work here? Well, I promise you it'll work there if you make it work there. Here's the thing, guys. Wherever there are houses, there are people want to buy those houses. Wherever there are houses, people want to sell those houses. Okay? Because this is a commodity that's hard to live without. You know, people have to have shelter. Man, I don't care what's going on outside. Everybody's buying out. Look at right now, the interest rates are high. People still buying houses. Back in 2008, when the crap hit the fan, people were still buying houses. And I've been through 6 of those cycles in my life, and I'm telling you, not one of them, people quit buying houses. They just keep buying them. Sometimes they buy less, like right now, waiting for the interest rates to go down. And by the way, when I started in 1982, the prime rate was 16.8%. Imagine that. 16.8 was the prime rate, okay? I was getting money from a hard money lender at 18% interest and 10 points. And 6 months interest prepayment penalty. Okay, it's not the cost of the money, it's the availability of it. And I'm telling you, I'm going to teach you to deal with private individuals and bypass all of those ridiculous costs, not loan sharks. It'll work. It'll work if you do what I ask. All right, what's this going to cost me? I don't think you care. You already know you want it, right? They raising their hands there. It's not $14.97, not even $9.97. It's not even $6.97. It's only $4.95, which is half price. This thing sells for $9.97 by itself. Okay? Now, here's what I'm going to give you if you say yes right now. You can get on the phone right now if you want to, as soon as I give you a phone number here. Bonus number one, well, this is the wholesale system itself, but it's the lowest I've ever offered it. I don't know why that's a bonus, but it's got bonus up there. That's the, what's that say? Wholesale?
This is flipping.
Oh, flipping. Okay, that is the wholesale course. Why so cheap? The answer is simple. It's a shameless bribe to get you to come into Planet Ron. And when you make the decision to come into Planet Ron, it's a long-term decision. I have students coming to every meeting, been around 20, 25 years, still hanging around. And so am I. Do you know anybody else who's been in this business for 44 years? Aren't many. They're mostly dead. So I want you, and if I have to discount the price like that to get you and let you find out what I'm all about, we'll create a long-term relationship that'll be profitable to you. I got thousands of them. And if you don't believe that, you got 30 days to return this thing. So you got absolutely no risk. There's no restocking number. There's no fee and none of that junk. If you don't want it sent, let us know. Give you a full refund. And here's how you can get it free. I challenge you. You do a wholesale deal within 90 days and prove it to me, and I'll send you back your entire $497, $495 you paid. There's no catch. There's no games. Well, there's a little catch. I want you to send me your testimonial letter so I can put you up here on the wall with all the rest of these folks. All right. Now, I don't want a house that you currently own that you sell within 90 days. So let's be square here. You got to buy it and sell it within the 90-day period. And by the way, if you do a wholesale deal, you need way less than 90 days to get rid of it, because I'm going to want to see both contracts. Is that fair? Hey, that's the deal. It's really a refundable deposit if you go out and do a deal. Happy to give it back to you. But I'm not done yet. In addition to my wholesale system, you're also going to receive where to get the money, the course on how to get the money if you want to buy houses and pay cash for them, because that's the only time you're going to need money. All right. And I'm talking about without your credit, nobody's going to pull your credit report, no banks, no terms, no cost delays, no time delays, no limit on how much you can borrow, and no personal guarantee there. That's a big one. And bottom one there's the biggest thing on there as far as I'm concerned. We don't do personal guarantees when we borrow from human beings. They don't care about that, because I don't want you to borrow more than 70% of the ARV, which better be enough to cover the purchase and the rehabs and the holding costs and then some, or you need to go back and offer less. It's kind of a balance for you. If you can't do all that on 70% and have money left over every time you make a loan, you're paying too much. But Ron, I'm not doing deals now, and I worry about where I'm going to get the money. Exactly what money are you talking about? You mean the $10 deposit? You know what? If you don't have the $10 deposit, you call Adel, he'll give it to you, won't you, Adel? Yeah. How much did it take to make $52,000? $10. How many people work a whole year and don't make $52,000? Most of them. Most of them. Can my underage child do this? Yes, and if they do it, I suggest you let them do it in a CISA. That's perfectly normal. A parent has to sign, but that's where you want them to do a deal. Put the money in there for education. I mean, any education. Talking about travel, lodging, uniforms, books, tuition. All of that is covered out of the CISA. And you don't make a check. You don't write a check for it, guys. You go put up, the CISA puts up the $10 deposit, and here comes the money. And then when you think you need more, just go do another deal in the CISA. And literally, to the age of 30, everything that is related to education is paid for out of the CISA. Don't believe it? Go to directed.ira.com and read it for yourself. Got to do it before they're 18, though. In fact, you can do it the day they're born, but it's got to be before 18. What if it doesn't sell? Well, you lose your $10. That's it. That's all anybody can do. They can't sue you because you didn't buy the house. That's pretty much the law of the land. You lose your deposit. Quit worrying about what can go wrong. Can I contract to buy a house in other states? Yes, you can. Absolutely. Many do. Many do. Where to find the best deals, little or no cost. Now, here's where I'm telling you, this is a 3-day training on just finding deals. Plus, I go my whole first half a day at the boot camp is all about finding deals. Here's a few ways. I'll show you right now real quickly. Number one, you don't want to do anything to where you're triggering people to call you until you set up a Pat Live account. RonLeGrand.com/Pat Live. They take calls 24 hours a day for a lousy $200 a month from buyers and sellers. All hours of the day. And trust me, you're going to wind up getting them. You think you're going to answer the phone now, but you're going to lose a lot of deals along the way. That's one thing I want you to job out, get rid of it, get out of your life, because that sucks up half your day there, especially when you got a house for sale. Write it down. Get it. RonLeGrand.com/Pat Live. They already got the script set up for you. It's a short script for both buying houses and selling houses. Check it out yourself. Then our virtual assistant. Look at this. They're going to call your leads and complete your PI sheet. That's the biggest thing they're going to do for you. Source leads, if you want them to, online where you live, that has FSBOs that are listed, places like Craigslist or whatever. They'll post all your ads free on your all your free websites. Let them post the ads. You don't have to do it. Let them keep them posted. Give them 2 or 3 ads and tell them to keep them out there. Free. All right. They'll maintain your website for you, and they'll maintain your a CRM system called DreamsPro.ai. They do all the work. You just tell them what you want to do, and they'll take care of getting it done. They create the page that's got, when you're selling a house, you got to have that page with a picture of the houses on it and the description of the house and so forth. Because people want to see that now before they even go look at the house. They'll create that for you and put it on the site, put it all over the internet for you. All right. They'll create your buyers list for you. In other words, they're going to create the biggest, most valuable asset in your entire business. And that's a whole bunch of people who want to buy or lease option houses from you. You're going to need two of them, one for wholesale sales and one for lease purchase sales on the pretty house side, and a lot more. For $250 to $500 a month, for crying out loud, you get all that done by human beings that are well trained and on the job and take a load off of your back. Dreams Pro AI is pretty much a critical ingredient because you have to have some place that stores all this stuff. But look at this now. Watch this. You pull your own mailing list. There's 17 different motivated type sellers that you can pull from. Absentee owners, that's a good one right there. Low equity. Al, tell them what happens to houses out there right now. And so low equity is a business within the business. Let me start by telling you that 2009, after the crash, people were over leveraged. Houses dropped quick and they didn't know what to do. And I came up with this plan. I'll go out and lease option the property from them with no personal liability for what they owed. And I'd get another lease option tenant buyer for the house, get 10, 15 grand out of them and just and assign them and get out of it. They had 10-year leases. So easy. But here's the good part. The seller was begging us to come buy their house. Is that true today?
It is very true.
Yeah.
Easiest negotiation there is right now.
Yeah. Now remember, that's low equity houses. Okay, you can pull all that stuff up wherever you want, anywhere in the country you want them, and mail to them. It's like shooting ducks in a barrel. Now, the deal is they'll give you the house. They'll let you take it over. This is a pretty house deal, subject to, or wraparound mortgage as soon as you find out what that is. And they're not going to have a lot of equity in them, but they're in gorgeous condition. Most of them are less than 3 years old. And the seller literally wants you to come take the house. They're not asking for any money. And now you got a beautiful piece of property. You put a lease option tenant buyer in, and there's where you're going to grow wealth very quickly. And in fact, that's all part of my term system, but I just wanted you to see where the leads come from. They come right off of here. Remember, there's 17 of them all together. See that low equity down there? That's these kind of houses. And look at this list. Upside down. You can actually target them. Active, let's see what I like on here. I like, you want it potentially inherited. You want pre-foreclosures. And you want vacancy. See, we can stack these lists, folks. I can take 2 or 3 of them and stack them and narrow that list down. We can take 3,000 names and narrow it down to 50. So we don't have to spend much money marketing to them. That's the beauty of this CRM we got here called dreamspro.ai. And that's just one of the things. That thing's got so much stuff on it, makes your life so easy. For example, now we got you can go out, look at a house, make a list of what you want to spend on, what you want to repair, come home and stick it in your CRM, Dreams Pro, and it'll tell you what it costs to do that repair. Yeah, I mean, and it can't be any easier. And the ARBs are in there, where you find your ARBs are in there, and what else in there? The skip tracing is all in there. Texting is all in there.
CRM, you can do comps. You mentioned the repair status there. You're all in one system. You don't need anything else, really.
Yeah, that keeps track of all your leads and so forth. So that's dreamspro.com. It's $297 a month. And honestly, if you're going to get in this business, you're going to need it. So look at it so far. But $297. I got Pat Live is $200. I'm at $497. I'm $500. And you're going to want to get in the Gold Club as well. That's another $59 a month. That pretty much covers you, other than marketing, that covers most of your overhead right there. For what? I mean, look, $20,000 check or above. Now, there's other things you can do, like putting out signs here. There's ours. Can they see that? Yep. Now, nowadays, we have to put an area code now. They changed the rules around here, but yeah, anyway, that's the sign. Full price for your house. I know that scares you. What if they ask me, what do you mean full price? The answer is whatever you and I can agree upon. All right. Come back to those in a second. Look at there. Oh, did you get that supercheapsigns.com there? That's where we go, right, Adam?
Yes, sir. Yep.
Hey, that's where we buy them. They're $2 or $3 a sign, no biggie. And then there's these door hangers. All right. All the reasons why they should call us right there. More reasons on the other side right there. And they hang on the doorknob. All right. These cost us $550 for 5,000 of them to get printed. 5,000. I'll tell you what to do with them right now. Look at this. Picture this. You got a couple of teenagers in your life, or you borrow a couple. You get in your car, you put your signs in your trunk with the wiry things they come with, stick them in the ground, and you get a bunch of these printed up. And you take your teenagers to the low-end neighborhood you want to target, and you stop at the beginning of a block, put one out on one side, one out on the other side, a handful of these, and they go up and put them on the doorknobs for you. All right. How are you going to not buy houses with this going into their house, for crying out loud? These make good book markers as well. They keep them. They hang around. So picture you doing that one Saturday morning. Now, you can't work these people more than about 4 hours. You're going to wear their butt out because they're walking during most of that whole time. So now they're putting these door hangers up while you're sticking signs up wherever you can do it without being in front of somebody's yard. And you're also looking for ugly vacant houses, and you're going to shoot the photo of them, and then you're going to go home and skip trace them on your dream system and find the owner if they got no signs. And if they got signs, of course, visible signs of all, pretty or ugly, you're going to go home and get those calls, send them to your VA. And while you're at that, you're looking for listed ugly houses. Okay, all in one trip. All in one trip. Now, how much is that going to cost you? A handful of signs. And how many you put out? You put 1,000 in about 4 hours, right?
Yes, sir. With four guys, I'm including myself. Yep.
4 guys?
Yep.
Oh, not 2 guys.
No, we had 4 people, four teenagers. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. We'll pay them $10 a piece for 4 hours worth of work.
Yep.
And if they do a good job, you buy them lunch. All right. So that's $160 worth of labor plus about $100 worth of these things right here. Tell me, is that cheap marketing or what? And what better marketing? Targeting it. They cannot get in the house without reading your ad. If you don't do anything else, just do that. All right. Then you keep changing neighborhoods. It's going to take you several trips out there to knock out most of your single neighborhoods. All right. I'm going to give you a 30-minute planning session. And that's not a sales call. That's where you make an appointment and they talk to you for 30 minutes and decide what's going on in your life, answer all your questions, what it takes for you to get into this business and succeed in it. And then they're not going to try to sell you anything unless you ask. If you ask, they'll answer your questions about what we got to offer or whatever. All right. So that's for your benefit. You got to make an appointment. That's all. We'll send you the information on that. All right. If you register for my Quick Start School here, I am going to give you credit for the course that you're just buying on wholesale. I'm going to give you $500 discount off of Quick Start School for that if you do it right now. And here's your free gift. I promised you a free gift. I'm going to send you. Well, I got that in here later. Let me get to it. When I get to it. I paid $450 for my first course in 1982. I wonder what that's worth now. These bonuses alone are over $2,500 for you. And a rebate certificate, that's a $500 gift. All you got to do is send me proof. And if you haven't done a deal in 90 days, you know, I can tell you right now, you ain't doing anything to get the deal, or you're doing the wrong stuff. Look, if you get this thing in your hands and you don't think it's going to be for you, you got 30 days, send it back. I mean, you know, ain't nothing to send back. I'm sending you a link, so you got to keep everything else. I can't repossess a link. And it's not a life-threatening decision, but it's certainly a life-changing decision. And this could be your turning point. Mine was March the 12th, 1982, when I made the decision to go to that free seminar that I was reading about in the newspaper. I knew it was a scam. Nobody buys houses with nothing down. That's not true. However, somehow I convinced myself to go. And the problem was that Dallas was on TV that night, and my hero was J.R. Ewing. It was a hard thing to miss. I couldn't record it back then. So I made myself go. I don't know what, I guess greed propelled me. I needed to get something because I was sick and tired of working, swapping hours for dollars running a service station and doing the mechanical work as well as the other managing work. And it wasn't making hardly any money anyway. We couldn't spend, we couldn't go to the store and buy enough groceries for 1 week. We had to go twice or 3 times just to because of the money situation, just barely squeezing by. And I did that for quite a while. And finally, I decided to go to this seminar. And that one seminar was a 2-hour preview, put me in a 2-day seminar, cost me $450. How many times do you think I look back and ask myself, well, what if I'd have just watched Dallas? What if I hadn't went? It would have affected my life for the rest of my life, my children and my grandchildren's life, and thousands of people that I've come in contact with along the way. In fact, hey, Adel, come up and get this. Ann Brandel sent me a text today.
Yeah.
She's in Egypt.
Yeah, sir.
See if you can. Oh, here it is. Never mind. All right. She's in Egypt. She sent me a picture. Now, Ann Brandel was a first responder, still is in northern Indiana. When I met her, she was about $200,000 in the hole. And then she came to my boot camp, had to borrow the money to get there. And she sent me this. I'm going to read it to you. She sent me a picture of Egypt. I guess that's what it is. She says, I'm thinking of you in Egypt on vacation. One of my lease option tenant houses is closing while I'm here. The couple who bought it is so happy. They have 3 friends that want to talk to me about lease options when I get back home. Traveling the world, having fun, and living a life I only dreamed about before meeting you. I just keep saying thank you. God. People ask me, why do you still teach? Well, I've got to do something. Might will help change people's lives while I'm doing it. I'm going to send you the link to get this. We're going to send that out today. Or got to wait till tomorrow. What, John? John?
We're talking about the
Link
which link?
Link to the course. They buy today. When did they get the link?
Yeah, we're gonna send that out tomorrow.
Tomorrow. Thank you. All right. It's the lowest price I've ever offered, and that's the truth. I want you. RonLeGrand.com/WS. Wholesale system. 800-567-6128. You get all those bonuses. $2,500 worth of bonuses. And, those are real prices, incidentally, not some seminar crap, for only $495. Also, you're going to be receiving a link so you can get on some ongoing Zoom calls conducted mostly by Adel here. I'm on some of them. By the way, he's an absolute expert on this wholesale stuff. Pretty house as well. Now, grab that, guys. RonLeGrand.com/contracts is a link you go to, and you'll get all the contracts at no charge. And you don't have to buy anything here today. If you want to go get those contracts, they'll have the purchase and sale agreement, lease option contract on there, the lease agreements on there for the pretty houses. Your assignment contract is going to be on there, and your PI sheet, the information sheet on the seller is all on there. Okay? It's free. Do with it what you want. Now, we're going to take questions here in a moment, but if we don't get them all in, make note, ask at ronlegrand.com, and I'll keep answering your questions. And even whether you buy anything or not, that's open to you. Ask at ronlegrand.com. Come to Papa. Be glad you did. Now, when you call and order the course, ask them about the Quick Start Real Estate School, and they'll tell you what it's all about if you have interest. And you can use the $495 for the course as a discount off of the school. So now would be a good time to get in the Quick Start Real Estate School. Come down and see me for 4 days. I still teach it. And you have my terms course. Some of you have my terms course you bought a couple of weeks ago. I give you that for $495 as well. I'm going to give you credit for that too. Okay, if you order it today. So there's $1,000 you get off right there. And there it is, right there in front of you. So make the call and ask them about it. And by the way, the Quick Start School is half price right now as well, at least till the end of March. So it's the cheapest you're ever going to be able to get in there, and your guest is free. And it comes with a guarantee, 30 days, and come for 2 days in a live event. If it ain't for you, tell us, and you get a full refund. I don't know how I can make it any easier than that. It's going to be in Jacksonville, Florida. You wouldn't believe the weather we got out here. All you people buried in snow out there, we feel for you. I spent 10 years in Ohio. I understand you. But the weather out here, I don't know where anywhere in the country is better than today. Got clear skies, we got no rain, and our temperature is what, 78 degrees today? So when you come see me in Florida, I guarantee good weather, at least inside the building here. And thank you for being here today. I mean it sincerely. We cherish your business, and I want to get acquainted with you, and I want to grow with you, and make life easier for you. If you give me the chance, I have the power to do just exactly that. So get on the phone and order right now. No risk, remember. Here's the phone number. Okay, John, ready for those questions now?
Yeah, we got a bunch of questions. If anybody out there wants to, if you want to use your webcam to come on live with Ron, just type in the comment section there, just type live, and I will invite you to join, and you can speak to Ron personally right now online live.
Mm-hmm.
But until then, we've got a ton of questions here, so let's get started.
You folks can hang around the whole time. You'll learn some stuff. You can go whatever you want to do now. Get on the phone right now while you're doing this, because these guys are only going to be around here for about another half an hour. Take the calls right now. But they will be here tomorrow. Go ahead.
All right, Dana says, how do these homeowners trust the real estate investor?
How do they trust them? Well, remember, we're wholesaling houses today. We're paying them cash. They don't have to have a whole lot of trust in us to do that. I think you're referring to the pretty house business now, when the owner finance it and all of that. So I'll answer that question for you. Adel, you're the seller. And you're saying to me, how do I know I can trust you? Now I'm saying to him, do you have any reason to believe you can't trust me, Adel?
Not yet.
Not yet? Okay. I'm not here to buy your house, take on responsibility and pay the closing costs and all of that, but I'm not going to make your payment make any sense, would it?
No, sir.
So look, if I do what I say, can I trust you to do what you say?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. That's the end of that question. You don't have an objection the seller could give you. I don't have the answer to. Next.
Okay, next question from Annette.
Mm-hmm.
Are vacant houses worth looking at?
Anytime you buy a junker that needs rehabbed, it's probably vacant in it. And that's the way I'd rather have them. Occasionally somebody will still be living in it, but if I buy it, they're going to get out of it. So it's going to be vacant when I buy it anyway, most of the time. Now that's the junker business. Okay. Can you imagine what the house looks like inside? It's unlikely somebody's going to be living in it, but it's not impossible. That's for sure. I bought a house one time. I don't know if I told you about this, Adel. I went in the living room and I could look up through the roof and see the sky. And rocks off the roof were rolling in and piled up right in the living room. Wow. That's how bad it was. Yeah. So I asked the guy, I said, how did you let this thing get in this shape? He says, well, when I bought this house, I told the bank that the roof leaked and they haven't fixed it. Okay. Of course they haven't fixed it. They had no reason to fix it. But anyway, you hear some strange stuff out there. Strange stuff. All right. Did I answer that one, John?
Yes.
Okay,
Next question from Barbara. How do you wholesale without a realtor license?
I don't need a license. Remember, I got to put it under contract to buy, and I don't need a license to sell it in any state. Okay. So again, there's a few that don't let you sign contracts, but nobody can stop me from buying a house. Nobody can stop me from selling a house. Now, what you don't want to do is go trying to sell the house without a contract on it, because you certainly are acting like a realtor without a license in that case. As long as you got a contract to buy or option the house, you have every right to go sell it.
James says, when you are investing out of state, do you pay for the title search up front?
I don't pay for anything till I get a signed contract, and then the next thing I do is order a title search, and I don't care what state it's in.
Okay, next question from
You're not on the mic, John.
Sorry, next question from Rhonda. Is it better to go for estate properties or foreclosure?
Yes. Go for both of them. Why not? Now, I'll tell you, one of the things that you're really going to want to do is mail out postcards. So, Adel, who are you mailing postcards to right now?
Mainly right now, probates and foreclosures are the two I'm really targeting right now.
Mhm.
Some tax delinquency thrown in there.
Wait a minute, now, let's talk about pre-foreclosures before they go to the courthouse
Yes, sir.
steps,
Sorry.
right?
Yes, sir.
They go to the
Yes, sir.
courthouse steps, their own bank owns them now.
Yeah.
Or whoever lender was.
Those three are usually the ones I probably, and some tax delinquency in there as well.
And you're mailing them to low equity houses.
And the low equity.
Beautiful houses,
Yes,
beautiful
sir.
neighborhoods.
Yep. Yes, sir.
Yeah. I'm telling you, I got time to spend on it right now, but I'm telling you, you can create a lot of wealth in a hurry on those low equity houses that people just beg you to come take off their hands. I mean, beg you. And you don't even have to buy them. You can lease option them, and then there's no closing cost. No closing cost. All right. I think you're going to have to hear this about 7 times before it sinks in. I get it.
Okay, Ron, we do have someone who wanted to come on live and speak to you. So
Really?
anybody else, if you want to come on live, just type live there in the chat section and I'll invite you. But here is Patrick. Hello,
Patrick.
Patrick.
Boy, you got nerve coming on here. We can see your face.
Hey there, Ron. How are you doing? Can you hear me?
I'm outstanding, and I can hear you very well.
Excellent, excellent. Ron, it is a pleasure. It is an honor to speak with you one-on-one. I really, really, really appreciate you speaking with me one-on-one. Thank you.
My pleasure, man.
Yes, sir. I have a family member. She's 71 years old. She's in California. In Colorado. I'm in California. And she has her mom and dad's house and free and clear. And there's quite a bit of repair that needs to be done on the home. And I'm trying to, she wants to sell me the home, but she wants $200,000 for the home. And the ARV is probably like 160, 165.
They are in good shape in Colorado.
Say again?
Good shape. Are good shape in Colorado is 165. That doesn't sound right there.
Well, it's 12 miles outside of a little town.
Okay.
So,
but what's the question? She wants more than it's worth.
Yes, yes. She does want.
If you can't convince her of that, there's nothing for you to do.
Okay.
And another question. You say she's living in her parents' home. Has that been through probate yet?
No, she's not living in the home. She did.
But she inherited.
She lives in Denver.
Okay.
And yes,
the point is,
yes,
she hasn't been through probate
yeah,
yet.
free and clear.
Irrelevant. She can't sell a house if she don't own it. We run it.
No. She owns it. She owns it. It was it. Say again.
Did she go through court and the court awarded her the house?
Yes.
Okay.
Years ago.
Okay, that's good. But I'm telling you, there's probably nothing you can do there. And what you might want to do is say, listen, can you get me some comps that show the house is worth anywhere near that? And let her do that. Even then, if you don't buy it with owner financing, you don't want it. Now, if it needs a bunch of repairs, she's out of her mind asking that kind of money if it needs a bunch of repairs. She'll never get it.
Well, I've been trying to come to a price, an agreeable price. You see, she wants to come off the front end and say, I want 200,000 for it. But I'm trying to come in from the backside and saying it needs, 30,000, 25,000 in repairs to the foundation. It needs another $10,000, so I'm trying to come in from the back way.
I'm going to tell you, save yourself a lot of energy and let her keep the house because you're wasting your energy.
Okay.
Okay. We got a shirt back here. I'm looking at it. It says you can't make chicken salad out of chicken shit.
Got you. Okay. Hey,
right,
and that's one of the reasons why I follow you. That's one of the reasons why I follow you. You and my dad are the same way. You talk to me like my dad does,
Yeah. I love it. People love it for me to punish them though,
Hey, well, I can handle it and I respect you for it. Thank you.
Well, thank you for that. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Go find a good deal.
Got you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Who's next,
Patrick.
John?
All right, next, Thomas says it's a $25,000 violation in Illinois without a license. How can I get around that?
Get a license or do it in another state, which I've mentioned 2 or 3 times now. And I don't know where you got that number from, $25,000 violation, but here's what you do. Go read the statute yourself. And then the first thing you want to do is go down to the exceptions in all cases. Quite often the exceptions will eliminate you even reading the whole statute. Okay. I don't know. I read that. I didn't see any $25,000 fine in there. And I promise you that that's probably not going to happen until you really make a habit out of it and they can see that you're willfully violating the law. But, I'm not a lawyer, so get a license or do it in the state or don't do it at all. Do pretty house business. Or pay cash for the house and then sell it. There ain't nothing they can do about that because you're not assigning a contract. That means you just need private lender to work with and figure out how to pay them because you ain't going to be in the house more than a few days. So got to make sure that they get paid. I'll give you $1,000 for the use of the money for a few days.
Okay, Jazz Meat, what are the top FSBO websites and are they free?
Well, Adam, you can help me with that. There's Craigslist, and then there's Facebook Marketplace, and then there's Zillow.
I mean, Zillow is probably the main one where most houses are today. I would
Yeah.
the best FSBO one.
But I'm going to tell you right now, that's not where you want to go looking for deals.
Yeah.
I mean, there's deals there, but you got to call a lot more people to get a deal than you do focusing on these pain points that I showed you earlier. In fact, you can tell your virtual assistant to source leads for you, and they'll go on there and pull them off the websites around you. You don't even, and then call them, and you don't even have anything to do with it if you tell them to do that for you.
Okay, Ron, we got someone else who wants to come on live with you. Harry. Hello, Harry.
Oh, Harry. I know Harry. Yeah.
Hello,
hey,
Ron.
Yeah, been a while.
No desk is complete without.
What is that?
That's a J.R. Ewing.
Oh, golly, man. I love it. My hero.
Adding this to one of your gifts. You've been very instrumental.
So what's going on in your life?
I'm going to come down and see you again. My mother's very sick. She's 93.
Oh, my goodness.
It's a handful. But I don't want to take up all your time. I just want to let you know that I scoured the internet to find this for you. and it comes with a couple of batteries, and you're going to hear it every time you push this little button.
I love it.
This is the third gift I'm getting you. I'll get you 100 gifts because you've been very instrumental. A lot.
How are you doing? How's your business?
I'm doing good. The postcards really work well. Everything, and I've been doing this for 39 and a half years.
Wow.
Don't be fooled by the hair color, but you've been very instrumental, and I'm very grateful. And anybody that doesn't buy into this, even though I'm one of the older dinosaurs, they'd be foolish not to. And
Well, thank you for that, Harry.
Adel's not paying me a dime to say this. I admire you. I enjoyed having dinner with you and your wife and your sister Barbara, and I think everybody there is first class. Isaiah and John Scott and Adel, everybody's wonderful. So
thank you.
And I've been doing this a long time, not as long as you, but I'm up there. And I got thrown into it at 21 years old. So I cannot tell you how grateful I am for everything you've done. Big inspiration. Anybody doesn't listen to this, they're foolish.
People are going to do what they want to do. And I can't change everybody's mind.
Postcards really work. The Pet Live works. The VAs work. Every part of this works. And even when I'm busy and I'm out of town, I still pay for my Gold Club because I'm always accessing it after the kids go to sleep.
Like I read on Ann Brandel, she's in Egypt and closing a deal today.
I love it. It was wonderful. I hope to see you. What car did you drive today, Ricky or Lucy?
I'm going to be bringing Lucy when I do the boot camp here in the end of the month. And maybe even my 67 Lincoln Continental convertible.
Yeah, the black one that we took pictures in.
Black one, yeah.
Beautiful car.
Kennedy got shot in.
That's right. I think he got hit in the 65? You have the 67, right?
Well, mine is a 67, yeah.
Yeah, yours is immaculate. Better than Kennedy's.
I don't know. I didn't get.
You don't ride in the back seat, do you?
I don't go in the back seat, no.
No.
Good talking to you, man.
Nice talking to you. Bless you all.
Harry, thank you for joining us. We got another person online. I hope I'm saying your name right. Jazz Meat, is that right?
Yeah, just me. Yes.
All right.
What can I help you with?
Ron, I think what I would like to know is someone who hasn't done anything in the real estate business and was first time looking at these things based on the various tools that you shared and all the agents and everything that you can outsource. What I'm trying to figure out is doing the course with you versus with all the tools and everything that you've talked about.
Could you speak up a little bit? I had a hard time hearing you. Speak up.
Okay. I was saying
That's
that
better.
with all
Better.
the tools and information that you have provided, even if we don't take the course that you're offering, or what I'm trying to figure out is with all the information you have given me, is that a good starting point, or the reason to go to your course is you would be hand holding and leading everything in versus the information that you have provided, build on top of it, and we can even do it ourselves.
You have everything in the course that you need to do a deal, but you don't, you're still always going to learn. And when we get you in a live event, we actually practice what we preach here, and you'll see us do deals while you're in the class for you on the leads that you bring, pretty or ugly. But the course is pretty complete, And you're going to have to experiment with what you do to find deals. I just showed you what I think is one of the easiest way for you to get started. They're putting out the signs and these things simultaneously and looking for ugly houses in the neighborhood and pretty ones with signs on them, FSBO signs and all that. It'll be hard not to get a deal that way if you put out, a fair amount of them. That's where I'd start if I were you. Now look, how much does it cost when you run free advertising all over the internet and your VAs are doing it for you? How much of that advertising can you run before you run out of advertising money? That was a trap. You don't need money. It's all free. Think of all the places that the ads go. The I Buy Houses ads, Facebook Marketplace. I don't know. We can make a list of them. I don't even need a list. My VAs have already got the list. Just tell them run the ads and keep them out there. No cost to that. And then the FSBO signs all around your town, for sale by owner signs. Have the VAs call them. No cost to that. There's a lot of things you can do absolutely free to find deals, find leads. You can go out and ride around in the low-end neighborhoods and look for the junkers yourself because there's plenty of them around there. Take a picture of them, come back, have them skip traced, and pick them up the phone and call them. You want to sell that house? What's the least you could take if I paid you all cash? Is that the best you can do? Because there's some good deals there. If they're ugly and vacant and there's no sign in front, they're the best deals there are in an ugly house business. And you got the tools with a CRM to find them real quick.
So usually the empty and vacant houses, do they also have signs usually up front, or is it both ways?
Some have signs, some don't. The ones that don't are the best deals. Because you got to track them down with our skip tracing to call them. You get 4 or 5 numbers. Now, and you can't hide anybody today. I mean, there's no hiding. They can find you. This is all AI driven, All right.
Got it. Thank you.
All right.
Appreciate it.
Do what you can to get the course and also get to the boot camp. When you go see what the price of that boot camp is, you're going to be shocked how cheap it is now. And we finance it for you if you need it. Okay?
All right. Thank you.
Thank you
so much.
All right, John, who's next?
All right, thank you. Next question from Lori. If I do have enough money to hold a property, but later on decide to sell it, is there a way to avoid taxes?
Yeah, do it in your IRA. That's the easiest way. Now, you can't live in it if you do. Neither can any of your children or grandchildren all the way up and down. Brothers and sisters, okay, but not your linear descent. But that's tax-free, Roth IRA.
Juan asks, what is a memorandum of affidavit?
It's a memorandum of an option, and it's a little one sheet of paper to record the fact that there is an option. It doesn't say what the numbers are, but there is an option. Only a couple states that I know of require that. That would be North Carolina and what was the other one? I think might be Pennsylvania. I don't know. Any big deal, you're going to have an attorney close all your lease option deals and all your owner financing deals, and he or she knows exactly what needs to be recorded and what doesn't. I don't do them here. I don't need to do it in Florida. It's not required. And the only reason for it is to protect the buyer so the seller don't go sell the house while they've got an option to buy it. Honestly, I ain't never had anybody try to do that. You know, half the stuff you think is going to go wrong, you're going to laugh at yourself a year from now when you find out it's not reality.
Vernetta says, for those of us who can't make it to Jacksonville for the 4-day training, do you offer the course online?
I offer a virtual one in April. In fact, this one's live in March. April is virtual, but I got to tell you, live is 10 times better than the virtual, to be honest. In the live event, you can bring leads and we'll call them for you. Get your PI sheets filled out. In fact, our VAs will do that for you. Bring them to that. We'll call them. Al will call them. My sister will call them. And you can sit out and listen to them if you want to. And we'll run through the script and see how many deals we can get out of that batch. So that's a good place for it. In fact, Ann Brandel, now that I think about it, her first deal came when she was at the boot camp. We got her a deal. She went home and did it. Now she's on fire now. She's well over a millionaire status quite a while ago. She came in, I think, in 2017, 2018, somewhere around in there. She's doing well. She's still a first responder, too.
Edward says, when is your next 4-day training class? What is it called?
Called Quick Start Real Estate School, and it starts on March the 20th.
Let me correct you, March 24th through 27th.
That's what I said.
That's what you said.
Okay.
And Viviana says, do you offer payment plans?
Yes. Get them on the phone, and they'll try to do everything they can to help you get in. And we ain't going to check your credit either.
Mike asks, where do you find these houses?
All over your city. Again, now they're in the lower. First, find out what your median price is where you live. All right. You want to go into neighborhoods that are well below that. And I'm not telling you to go into the crack areas where you're afraid for your life, but those houses look just like the ones you're going to buy outside of that area. But there's so many low-end areas pretty much in any city. Most of them anyway, not the little small cities, but all the big ones have low-end areas that are, just a lot cheaper than houses in some of the other areas in that city. If you get your junkers are all going to be below the median price. And I won't say all of them. Some of them are going to be above that maybe, but under the median price is where you want to target. So that you figure out where those neighborhoods are. You probably know already. And that's where you want to target to get the junkers that you're going to wholesale.
Okay, Scoot says, how much is a 3-day class in March? Well, first of all, it's a 4-day class in March, and call into that number and they'll.
It's the same price for the virtual as it is for the live, but you get both. Okay, you don't get just one. If you want to go to the virtual, come back to the live later, and there's no cost. In fact, you can come back as many times as you want after the first time for a year at no cost. And you can bring your guest with you as long as they're in your family or in your business.
Carrie says, if I'm doing virtual wholesaling from Florida, but contracting houses in another state, what state do I have an LLC in?
You can have an LLC in any state and buy houses in another state, but I got to tell you, there ain't no state better than Florida to have an LLC in. So that might be where you want to get one. And the LLC does not have to be in the city where the house is.
TM says, how many times do you do Quick Start a year in Jacksonville?
I do 11 total, and sometimes I go out of town, 1 or 2 of them. But I don't know if I'm going to do that this year or not. I'm still thinking about that. So we do 11 of them. We don't do one in December, but we do them in every other month. Well, might be fewer than that this year. Might be about 9 or 10.
Samuel says, is there a kind of mentoring after the 4-day class? How long will it last?
Adel would be one of them. And in fact, Adel's the one that's going to handle most of your Zoom calls. He's also a mentor, works with people one-on-one, and he will also run, we have group mentoring as well, and he operates on that. And every once in a while, I jump on there. And look, we're not hiding from anybody. I'm telling you what, I answer questions almost every single day from students, and I don't mind doing it. All right. And we're not going to just do a seminar and take off on you. I mean, this is a relationship I'm trying to build with you. because it's going to take a while for you to go from zero to, guys like here on here. I got so many of these folks that are multimillionaires now. And that's another thing about the live event. You come to that thing, you're going to hang around some of the people in there doing extremely well because they keep coming back. And the smartest ones that I know, ones that are doing the best, has been to my boot camp 3, 4, 5 times. Because every time you come, you learn stuff you didn't learn the last time, and you're better equipped. So I always tell everybody when they come the first time, go ahead and get your second one scheduled 3 or 4 months away, because you're going to see what you missed when you come to the second one. They all tell me the second one's better than the first one. That's because they didn't get all the first one. It is like drinking out of a fire hose. But when you leave, you're ready to go do business. Nothing you need to do except go implement a few of these things to find houses. The rest of it's already for you to step right in the track. Do what I ask you to do. I'm thinking of Jay Connor. I'm going to have Jay Connor there talking to you about private money. He's the world's expert on that now. I remember when he came to my boot camp in 2009, he went and netted over $1 million his first year. Last 3 years, he's netted over $2 million. And he only does 25 to 30 houses a year. Rehabs all of them. Lives in Morehead City, North Carolina. His net profit is $92,000 per house. Is that a guy you want to know? A guy you want to learn from? Not only that, he's a human being that you're going to want to hang around. So those are the kind of people I bring here. In fact, that's the only one I bring here other than Adel. Adel will be there helping us teach as well. But Jay is the only other speaker I have. It's all me. So if that don't bother you, call and get signed up. What's next, John?
Charmaine says, if you wanted the house to keep, if you wanted to keep the house, how do you make that happen?
Well, that's easier to happen when you're buying one on terms. And in fact, that's what I suggest you do with all the terms houses is keep them. Put lease option tenant buyers in them. And again, I say if I have to pay cash for it or I agree to pay cash, then I'm going to cash out of it. And you don't have to go raise any cash if you're wholesaling. So if you put it on a contract for cash and you want to buy it, then you got to go get a private loan from a human being to raise the money to buy it and fix it and then some. Every time we go to borrow, whenever we go and borrow money to buy a house, we always borrow more than we need. That's rule number 1. Borrow more than you need. Rule number 2 is don't forget rule number 1. Yeah, I learned that 40 years ago. Long time ago. God, 44 years. Still here.
Dana says, what exactly am I choosing? I'm overwhelmed with the options.
Well, you only have 2. There's $495 for the course, or you can call and they'll give you full credit for that. And if you have the turn system already, you get credit for that, and you get a whole bunch of bonuses on top of that. So just call, and it depends on you. See, everybody, I don't know what you got. I might give you credit for what you have. I don't know whether you need financing or not. So they'll tell you the answers that you need. I'm hesitant to do it because I don't have all of them in front of me right now. Tell you one thing, the price is cheaper than it's ever been. It's ever been right now. And that won't last forever.
Vida says, oh, excuse me, that's not a question. How much is the title search?
Going to vary anywhere from 100, I don't know, 75. What are we paying?
Title search?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're right. $7,500 somewhere around.
75 or $100. Yeah, it only takes 2 or 3 days. That's the first step after you contract signed is get the title search. And I don't put it on the market until the title search comes back clean.
Rosio says, do you get it under contract with the regular 1 to 4? And do you have to let the seller know that you will be assigning the contract?
Yes. That's the rules in some states. Some states, no. And then, I don't know how many investors really care if that's done right or not, but you can go read that rule on that, see if there's a rule on it where you live. I'm telling you right now, just ask Google. Man, it's so easy. That's where I get all my information from. I asked her one time, will you marry me? And she says, you're not my type. Whatever that is.
We got Jason says, are fire smoke damaged houses worth looking at or buying?
Jason, I wouldn't touch them if you're thinking about rehabbing it yourself. Because I'll tell you, I learned the hard way. Every single charred board in that house has to be replaced or you're never going to get that fire smell out of the house. I don't care if it's charred. I don't care if it's burnt. Even if it's charred, you're not going to get smell out without replacing them. So that's a lot of work. Probably not one you want to take on unless you get a whole lot more skilled than you probably are right now. And even then, better make sure your numbers are going to make sense.
Scoot asks, does the class in March, I guess the Quick Start class, does that cost double for couples and spouses?
Nope. You're bring your spouse or your child or somebody in your business, absolutely free. And if you want to bring a second one, it's $500.
Esther says, what was the company you buy the for sale signs from?
Supercheapsigns.com.
Okay, Richard says, if I find a low equity pretty house, I should find a buyer and offer a lease option. Is that how it works?
That's the easiest way to do it, but I wish you would get trained before you do that, or you're going to make a mess out of it. I don't even know if I want you out there trying to pull that off on your own without being trained on it, because you scare me. You scare me. We spend a lot of time on that at the boot camp and teach you how to. I got 14 mistakes, for example, that people make when they're talking to sellers, and everybody makes some of these mistakes. The first thing we got to do is fix that. And you know what I'm going to do, John? I didn't see that slide that had everything. You know what? I probably saw it and passed it. Here's what I'm going to do for you guys. If you get on the phone right now, and you will get into boot camp, of course, you're going to get the course I offered you for free, plus all those bonuses. But I'm also going to throw in another course called Mastering the Closing Call. Mastering the Closing Call is a 2-day event we did here, all about this, how to handle calls, how to clean up your act on what your conversation is like, how to answer any question the seller throws at you, that kind of stuff. That's a $495 course. I'll give it to you if you join the boot camp, in addition to all the other bonuses that they are talking about upstairs. John, would you make sure, please, that what I just said gets done?
I will let them know.
All right.
Okay.
Pretty soon, I'm going to be writing you guys a check.
Question from Esther. Would you partner on deals with us?
Yes, I do, if you're in the mentoring program, and I'm looking for partnerships. I really am, from people all over. I don't care where you're at. And you'll have that option. But you got to have a mentor to do that, which you'll learn about at the boot camp. And by the way, you can't get a mentor until you've been to the boot camp, because I'd be wasting your money. You can get a mentor about 30 days before you get to the boot camp, like right now, and they'll help you get some leads to bring and get you set up. When you take off, when you're done, you're ready to go, ready to take action. Your timing is great right now for the March 20th boot camp. We got plenty of time to generate a pile of leads. I don't care how many you bring a stack of them, and we'll work all of them. And
that's March 24th.
March 24th, sorry.
We got a question from Shay. When you talk about the boot camp and the Quick Start program, is that the same thing?
Yes. Boot camp is Quick Start Real Estate Schools, 4 days.
Annette says, is the skip trace included in the course?
Skip trace is part of the DreamsPro.ai.
Rosio, will you be having another 4-day training this year other than March?
Yes. I've already answered that. We do about 9 of them this year. March is live. April is virtual. Next, it'll be May, will also be live. And like I said, I may do 1 or 2 out of town. I haven't decided yet.
Bobby says, how do we get signed up?
800-567, there it is, 6128. Glad to have you.
Ben says,
just a minute. If you want to get in March, you better get in, because I don't have about 10 or 11 seats left for March. I have my own room down here in the building. We can only hold 50 people in this room max. I don't have a room stretcher, so if you miss March, I'll put you in April if you want to watch virtual, but then we'll put you in May for the live one if that's okay with you. By the way, if you register for one and for some reason you can't make it, just call us and we'll put you in the next one you want to go to. There ain't no penalty. This ain't Delta. I ain't going to charge you to change seats.
Ben says, what's the fastest way to get a hold of homeowners going to auction/foreclosure?
Fastest way is to drop them a postcard and get them to respond to you, because you'll wear yourself out trying to call everybody, one of them. Now, when they respond to you, they're a totally different seller than when you're chasing them. I mean, they're ready to go, they're motivated, and of course, they're motivated to lose their house if they don't do something. Now, if you're going to mail to people that you know are in foreclosure, make sure you see if there's any rules against, like, for example, you can't do that in Washington. And there's another state, I think it's Maryland, you can't mail to them if they're like 20 days away from the sale or something like that. So just check out the rule where you live if you know they're in foreclosure. That's a protected species, and that's usually probably a different contract as well. For example, in Florida, and I know California, and several others, they have a 3-day right of rescission if they're in foreclosure, and that's the only time they have that rescission. So that has to be in your contract, in order to make it pass inspection by anybody that wants to inspect it. So you only got to learn this stuff once. That's all. And then it becomes second nature. So when you get to the point where it's a cookie cutter, then you got it. You got it. Won't take long.
Viviana says, I'm interested in purchasing the course. Do we get any one-on-one support if we have questions after purchasing the course? And are there any additional fees we would need to pay besides the course price?
We have ask@ronlegrand.com for questions. After that, we have group calls, we have group coaching, and then we have one-on-one coaching. If you get to when you say course, I don't know what you're talking about, the boot camp, or you're talking about the course itself. But you can always get a hold of us at ask@ronlegrand.com, and I'll answer your questions. And someone, how do they get questions answered other than Ask Ron? Of course, I don't know why they need more than that.
That's really the only site that we place you driving to is Ask Ron.
Ask, and until unless you get into the mentor program, then you got somebody by your side whenever you want to pick up the phone and call them one-on-one for 6 months. Talk about that when you call as well.
Okay, next question from Monica. Do you still work with realtors for your wholesale deals?
Haven't lately because they're asking too much, and I found it was just a waste of time to even look at them. And now look, I got to tell you, when I started going through the realtors, is all I did. Okay, but that was then. All right, we changed with the times, and the times right now saying going through realtors is not a very good way to get deals. And occasionally you might find one in there, but you're never, ever going to find one in the MLS anywhere near as good as you can when you deal with the FSBOs, as I think I showed you with those 5 ugly houses I showed you for a reason. Make up your mind you're going to get deals from FSBOs.
Okay, can I buy a home without money down? Ramon from Dallas.
Not without training, you can't. But probably half of the terms houses we buy are no money down, just because of the script that I've created. The sentence that's in the script is, we usually buy with nothing down, okay? And then it says, shut up. Wait for an answer. But half of them will say, okay. You won. It's nothing down. You'll be surprised how many sellers don't care about the down payment. They just want some other motivation in their life to get out of this house, especially those people that have small equity in them.
Okay, Ron, we're getting close to our time limit here on our webinar. We can take a few more questions.
All right.
Brandon says, how many filled out PI sheets on average turns into a deal?
Brandon, that's like asking me, how much does a house cost? Doesn't that depend on the source of those leads to begin with? And then who's handling the call, the closing call, after the VA gets a package on a sheet on it? So there's no way I can answer that. I can tell you that the more targeted you market to, the less of those you're going to have to talk to. For example, people in probate. I mean, they all want to sell a house. So people in foreclosure, now some of them want to sell, some of them don't. I used to buy a lot of foreclosures, and every once in a while I get one of them to tell me, I'm not worried, the Lord will provide. I finally learned to say, how do you know he didn't send me? And how many of me do you think he's going to send? But everybody's chasing foreclosures. That's the problem. Everybody's not chasing that whole rest of that list right there, what we showed you about people that are motivated. Remember, you can stack them. In other words, I don't. Yeah, you put in there you want vacant, maybe 3-bedroom minimum.
Yep.
1,000 square feet minimum, and then
Sometimes I even put years of ownership just to make sure there's enough equity. If you're
Yeah,
just doing it for wholesaling, you know,
Yeah,
or
yeah,
sometimes
okay.
even year built, you know, if you don't want to stick to the 1910 houses or whatever, you can really
Yeah.
create a house avatar, whatever you want.
Yeah.
System. Yeah.
And see, that alone narrows down from this great big list down to a very smaller list to meet all these criteria. Now, of course, every time you stack another one, that's drops your list down. So now you're getting down to a handful of people that got to be really motivated to sell their house. So you're going to have fun with it. That's all on Dreams Pro, by the way. Oh, and I didn't even tell you, every time you create a list, whether you want to mail to it or not, if you save that list, you'll continue to get everything that falls into that criteria without even asking for it. So how many of those you're getting at a time?
The deal alerts?
Yeah, deal alerts.
Yeah. Maybe depending on the list, but usually at least 50 a week that come through.
God.
And there's like 8 or 10 different searches that I've set up. I'm getting some days, some weeks it's a lot more than that, but usually 50 to 75, honestly.
Yeah, and do you have the VAs call all of them?
Yep, we skip trace them, give them to the VA, and I'll just send them a postcard as they come in. So it's really easy to just take a stand.
All right. This is too easy. You know, back when I started, we actually had to work. They didn't even have the internet yet. Al Gore hadn't invented it yet.
Okay, Ron. So I've been asked to tell everybody you can go to ronlegrand.com/plan. That will let you set up an appointment with one of our course advisors. If you have any questions about quick start, mentoring, or any of the other stuff that Ron talked about, I mean, mostly today we've been talking about the wholesaling course. But anything further than that, go to ronlegrand.com/plan, and they will set up an appointment with you at your convenience.
Yeah. That's assuming that asking one question ain't going to solve what you need. They'll talk to you about your own life and what you got to work with and where you want to go and what's stopping you. Really, the biggest thing we try to focus on is what's stopping you now. Don't take money or credit. What's stopping you? We know the answer, don't we? Between this earlobe and this earlobe. It's really that simple. We got to fix that.
Dr. Bob asks how to check if there are other liens on the house.
Call the title search, Dr. Bob. Title search. That's what you call in as soon as you get the ink dry on the contract. You'll know all of that.
Okay, William says, I'm getting 4 houses from an investor subject to. What is the language you said to put in paragraph 18 of the purchase agreement?
You're getting them from investors. How are you getting them from investors? They're putting it under contract for X and then you're giving them Y. In paragraph 18, somebody's got to decide when the first payment's going to be due. Got to handle that. And then I think that's all that's in on a subject to deal. I mean, I teach you how to fill out that contract. It's already in your manual and all of that, but I would be worried about you must be giving that other investor some money to get this deal from them. And there's so many of them out there. I don't know why you'd pay somebody else to bring them to you. One thing you got to remember, let's assume the house is even in good shape. Okay. I'm never going to put out more cash than I think I can get back on a non-refundable option deposit, which is at least 5% of the sales price that I put on it. And you're not careful by the time you pay closing costs and you do some repairs if necessary and give some money to the seller or to your intermediary guy, you're going to have more money out than you're going to get back in, depending on the price of the house. Okay. Higher price house, the more of that deposit that you get, more cash you get. That's why I want you to start with a median price and go up. Not down here in all the junk. You'll get plenty of subject to deals in the junk. Promise you that. But gosh, trying to teach a 4-day event here in an hour and a half. I think trying to cram everything I can in here. How many more questions you got?
A bunch, but we're about to run out of time, so we'll take a few more.
All right, we're going to go till 9:30 Eastern Standard Time.
Okay, Chavez says, how much is a land trust? Is that formed the same way as an LLC?
No, not even close. Land trust is the opposite of an LLC. Land trust has no filing fee, has no EIN number, has no bank account, has no tax return. All of it is a flow through. And in fact, land trust wasn't on your bonuses, was it? Was it, John?
I don't believe so.
I know it's on the bonuses for the boot camp, though. I haven't even told you all the bonuses on the boot camp. Call and they'll give you the list of those. Land trust is one of them. I got a whole course in there that you get. Land is so simple. I've been using them ever since I got into business in 1982. It's the first layer of your protection. It gives you total anonymity. Nobody can go online and find out who owns the trust. It's easy to transfer them in a land trust. You sell a trust, you don't sell a house, no closing costs. It's lien attachment, lien avoidance, because a lien against you will not attach to a house you don't own. And you don't own the house if it's in a land trust, you just own the trust. Right? That includes an IRS lien. So that's why we use them. And every house I've ever bought has been in a land trust. Got a whole course on it. You'll get it. Good if you get boot camp.
Question from Bernie. How can I get more information on IRAs, LLCs to set up asset protection like Ron has?
That's another course I give you with the boot camp. A whole course on IRAs in there. And it's a good one too. I'll tell you what, that's probably a life-changing course because that means tax-free instead of tax for the rest of your life on this stuff. When I get you in the boot camp, I'm going to show you how to exchange one house that you're selling for 3 houses using the money you get out of the first house to put down payments with owner financing on the other 3 and quadruple your assets, quadruple your monthly income. One strategic move that a handful of people in the country know about. Hey guys, I've been at this a long time. I'm going to learn some crap that other people don't know.
Dan says, I'm confused. What is the course/class to sign up for to go over everything in great detail?
The $495 course is strictly on wholesaling houses. I think it's a 2-day event, if I'm not mistaken, that I've taped. The boot camp is where you implement all the stuff that you want. Well, 4-day training, I'll tell you the truth, a 4-day event, you don't even have to have a course if you're going to that, but I'm going to send it to you anyway. 4-day event is where we hit the ground running and start implementing all this stuff. But everything, in fact, I'll show you here. I don't know how I got on this talk about the event. I wasn't supposed to talk about that tonight. I might get fired. Look at that. There's the manual for the boot camp. And it's gold. You don't ever let anybody borrow this thing. So there's many, many things in here that are you're not going to get anywhere else, especially some that I created and just many things. If you want to get the proper training, you go to the boot camp, and then if you're going to get the course for free, that's what it amounts to. Free. But if you get to $495, I think you got 30 or 60 days to upgrade that and still get that discount. But now's when you want to do it because this is the cheapest. Not only is it cheapest, there's 4 or 5 bonuses in there that are worth a lot of money to you. I'm giving you pretty much everything I got by the time you sign up for the Quick Start School.
Bo says, how many days after they signed can they back out?
30.
Leela says, do we have to do any disclosure on the contract agreement?
I don't know what kind of contract you're talking about. Like I said, in a couple of states, you need a 3-day right of rescission if they're in foreclosure. The assignment thing, if you happen to be in one of those states that require you to disclose that you're selling the contract, and that's in the assignment itself, not in the purchase and sale agreement with the seller. The seller's deal is very simple. I'm paying you X number, going to close within 30 days, period. Very simple. So that's all I can think about, anything that would be special in the contracts. And we get in terms business now. I got some clauses you'll never get anywhere else on the planet that we're going to put in there that's going to save you a ton of money, but they don't apply to wholesaling business.
Jason says, can you finance the $495 for the wholesaling course?
No, I can't finance that one. I already got it at half price.
Larry, can we use the $10 method on foreclosures or pre-foreclosures?
Both. Pretty much all FSBOs. And those are FSBOs. If they're not listed, they're a FSBO. I mean, if listed in the MLS, they're a FSBO.
Samuel says, it seems our success depends on finding buyers willing to pay full in cash. Are such buyers easy to find?
I don't know where you got that. Well, if you're talking about wholesale buyers, that's true. They're going to pay cash. It's either their money or private lender's money, and I don't care which. Not true with terms deals at all. Terms deals are all about getting the terms that make you a lot of money, not so much about the purchase price. You can pay almost retail price for a house on the terms deals, like these low equity houses I was talking about. You're paying almost retail price, but you're not paying anything. You're just making the payments on it. Seller don't get any money. If you lease option it, nobody gets any money. There's not even any closing costs until you're ready to cash out of that house. So you lease option from the seller and you sublease it to the tenant buyer. I'll teach you how to do that. Not all the agreements you need are in the system. That's the term system now, not the wholesale system we're talking about today. Come to the boot camp, you're going to get it all.
Gary says, waiting on my first direct mailer campaign to go out. Should I be calling FSBO so I'm not just sitting on my hands, or is there anything else I could be doing?
Well, that's the problem with this business. You're going to be sitting on your hands a lot. So you better get used to it, because almost everything you got to do, somebody else is going to do it for you. All right. But if you want to go out and tour houses that you're never going to buy, that's okay with me. I'll get out of your system pretty soon. In other words, we pre-screen everything. We don't go out to houses we don't have a reason to go out to see. And of course, I don't go then. That's Adel's job now. And he said he works 10 hours a week. Don't believe that for a minute. I don't believe that. You might be thinking about it 10 hours a week. But I want, you didn't tell me who you're going to send those to, though. Might want to find that out first. And let me see if you're sending them to the kind of list that'll have to get you some results. In fact, if you're going to get the Dreams Pro AI, you probably want to wait on that, and then you can pull your own list driven by AI and mail to that list based on the criteria you want to mail to.
We've got a question from Aaron on TikTok. Do you pay capital gains on the contract you sell?
Absolutely. Short-term capital income, sorry. But your maximum tax bracket is what will determine that. And on the if you have it for more than a year, you'll pay long-term capital gains, which right now is 15% for most people. If you have it, you're going to flip it immediately within a year, you're going to pay whatever tax bracket you're in, 25%, 30%, 37 is the maximum tax bracket, and you got to make about 700 grand a year to be in that tax bracket. I cover that in the boot camp too. In fact, it's in your manual.
Tony says, how can you get started if you don't have an IRA? I'm low income. How can I get started?
Tony, an IRA you can open with $100. Want to open it, but you need to put enough in there to put up security, non-refundable option deposits on houses that you want to option. No, when you're getting them from the seller, you don't need any deposit. Scratch that. In fact, you don't need any deposit, because when you walk out of the house with the lease option agreement signed, you're in control. But closing is there is no closing. If I'm buying it, though, I got to give them a deposit and send it over there, and maybe I got 30 days to close it. So if you don't have any money, lease options is probably what you ought to focus on. But frankly, wholesaling houses is going to be cheaper for you. You don't have to learn the script. You don't have to, polish your conversation up to where you don't destroy your own deals and that kind of stuff. It ain't hard to negotiate a price with somebody that's got a junker on their hands. That's pretty easy. What's the least you could take if I pay you all cash? Is that the best you can do? And then you follow that with, are you saying I can't buy it if I won't pay you that? And wait, make you an offer.
Dan says, is the boot camp online or a physical location? If so,
Both.
where?
Both. It's in Jacksonville, Florida this month, and it's online in April. But I'm telling you, you can't, I'm not going to do deals for you on the April thing, on the virtual thing. You need to be here in class where you can hang around the right kind of people, where you can make lists of people that's going to be in your group the rest of your life all around the country, get your questions answered immediately, and possibly get some deals if you bring us some leads to work on. You'll see us buying houses while you sit here and watch. The first night, we call on your leads, and you hear both sides of the conversation, for crying out loud. And you'll see how we do it. Man, it ain't that hard. Look, you saw Adel. He's doing it. What can I tell you? He's sitting over here is why I'm picking on him. I don't want to waste it. All right. Next.
Bling says, will we have this same offer tomorrow?
I'll give you the same offer till tomorrow at noon, but there's something I'm forgetting that I will not. I forgot what it was, but you got to call in tonight. You get that mastering the closing call course. Call in today, and the guys are hanging around till I'm done here. So a little bit after when I'm done, and probably 30 minutes after I'm done, and I'm going to be done in 5 minutes. So they'll hang around here at 10 o'clock Eastern time.
Dustin, what happens if you can't get the contract sold in time? Are we liable for the full contract amount?
You're not liable for anything when you sign a contract to buy a house. The most they can get is your deposit. Your deposit is $10. No risk. I'm a no risk kind of guy. I'm going to have you build your whole business on no risk. Risk sucks, and there's no reason to do it. Trust me, I get you in with some of the seminars I took because I didn't understand that early on. So I'm going to keep you out of trouble if you let me.
Viviana, do we always need an earnest money deposit when working directly with sellers or just with agents?
Agents are going to want $1,000. They'll want it, absolutely. Plus, they'll want proof of funds. There is no proof of funds with FSBOs, and there really is no deposit. But we give them $10 just so that's normal. Have to have a deposit. I'm telling you, you don't even have to have a deposit. But in order to avoid any discussions about that, give them $10. What the heck? I told you, Idle will loan it to you if you need it.
Carrie says, do we need a real estate attorney for a legally binding contract?
No, but you're going to need an attorney to close any kind of a terms deal, getting in or getting out, because I say so. By the way, I forgot, Adel, you can put your wholesale deals up on your Dreams Pro AI system, and all over the country, it's going to buyers in the Dream system, but you won't need to do that.
Did you say the LLC is what owns the IRA?
Backwards. IRA owns the LLC.
Esther says, what do you tell the sellers while you are trying to market the contract?
I don't tell them anything. Remember, they're not living in the house. It's usually vacant. If I'm on wholesale deals, I don't need to tell them anything. They don't care, and they don't care who brings the cash to closing. So worst thing you can do is open up a big conversation that they answer questions that weren't even asked to you. I'm going to teach you to shut up. And that might be hard for some folks right now. The more you talk, the less chance you got to get the deal done. Shut up. Ask the questions I give you to ask. Shut up. Wait for answers. And all the way through your script. And that goes far beyond real estate, I might add. See, we ask questions, and we answer questions with questions. You can write that one down and start practicing it right now. Wouldn't you agree? It's a question. Okay. That was a question.
Okay, question from Shay. What are the best resources to find probate or tax delinquency properties in Jacksonville, Florida?
The Dreams Pro AI for probate, tax delinquent. You can go to right there. Where do you go?
Yeah, just clerk of the courts. You walk clerk of the courts. There's that calendar on there and gives you
Clerk of courts.
Yeah,
clerk of courts. But, you know, I've got to tell you, there ain't no deals in Jacksonville. Is there, Al?
No, sir. All out here.
Now we're buying them all. Oh, forget I said that. That's not true. If you can't beat us to deals, you're slow, girl. You're slow.
All right, let's take two more questions. Then we got to go. Steven says, after you get a home under contract and have done a title search, what is your preferred way to find a buyer?
If we're talking about a wholesale deal, we put an ad on Craigslist and Facebook Marketplace, and you're probably done. You don't even need to put a sign on the house. Okay. Now you do need to have a key to get in it. But by the way, you know, we learn not to talk with anybody very long when they say they haven't seen the house yet. Okay, go look at the house, call me back. Go and get all kinds of callers calling you. I mean, I don't know where these folks get their training from, but they need to come see me because they're making a mess out of their own deals, making stupid offers, sending you contracts on a house they haven't even looked at yet. Just make up a number. You know, you can weed them out very quickly, and you'll learn to do that. Have you seen the house yet? It's a big one. Okay, how long will it take you to close? Then you give them the address. unless you've advertised. We advertise the address on junkers, I think, but we don't do it on pretty houses. Ain't nothing they can do. I mean, remember, if you put the address in the ad, you're telling everybody the house is vacant. That's good for squatters and vandals. So we don't do that on houses that we care if they get in or not. If it's a junker, let them go in and steal something. Let's junk right out of it.
Okay, Ron, we got time for one more question. If your question didn't get answered, I'll type in the chat there, ask@ronlegrand.com. Just send an email there.
Yeah, be happy to answer it.
So last question for tonight from Ben. When you lease option, how do you get the deed, either with owner finance or subject to?
When I buy a house, I get the deed. When I lease option it, I don't get the deed, and I never get the deed because my buyer is going to buy from my seller. And two different contracts. So if I buy with owner financing or subject to, I get the deed. If I lease option, I don't from the seller. If I put the lease option tenant buyer in there, they don't get the deed till they go to the bank and get a loan to buy the house. And that is probably never going to happen. Not more than 10 or 15% of my tenant buyers ever go to the bank and get a loan to buy the house. And I don't care. Because my golden geese just keep on laying them golden eggs. But then we're in the terms business, okay? Today we're in the ugly house business. Flip the house, get a check, and forget about it.
All right. I think we answered almost everything. There might be a couple of late ones coming in, but I put that ask@ronlegrand.com.
Well, John, if you
out there.
only got two, let's get them out of the way now.
Well, let's see what we got left here. So Ron said, you said the IRA owns the land trust, then said the IRA owns the LLC.
No, I didn't say either one of them. The LLC owns the land trust. The IRA owns the LLC.
Same subject. How do you get the IRA to own the LLC? Would it be a made-up name of IRA on LLC form?
No. First, you got to get an IRA, and then you go on the IRA website, directedira.com, and you create a, what do they call it? It's one form, and you're going to invest in a new LLC. In other words, the IRA's got to form the LLC. You can't use one you already got. And you can't mingle this with any of your other business. So you got to have an LLC first, and then you direct your IRA to send you maybe $1,000. It's got to be made out to the IRA now. I'm sorry, to the LLC. The LLC is the one that's going to have the bank account, not the land trust. Land trusts don't have bank accounts. So the check comes from your IRA through you, but made out to your LLC that you can take it to the bank and open a bank account with it after you get an LLC and you get an EIN number. And now from that point on, you're doing business out of that LLC, not out of the IRA direct, but out of the LLC. Okay, but remember the IRA owns the LLC, so as far as the rules, you got to put them all in the same basket. I teach that, of course. And if you're a Gold Club member, there's a lesson on the Gold Club called 4 LLCs. If you made a note of that, put it out up in the search box, and here come a whole lesson I did on just exactly that. All right, John?
Okay, Ron, I think we got all the questions answered.
Well, how about that? All right. Well, thank you guys for hanging around so long. I hope to see some of you maybe here in a couple, 3 weeks, and the rest of you certainly sometime in the future. Thank you.
Ron's event to me is heads and toes above any other event. He always has good content. He has good speakers that he brings in. He doesn't let just anybody come in and speak. He always has good speakers.
It's great energy. There's a lot of people motivated and a lot of people that are getting motivated. You can just tell by everyone that walks up there and speaks that they're here to help with whatever they can. So it's really exciting.
So the content is a little overwhelming at first when some of the mentors have said to us, be prepared, it's like drinking from a fire hose. They are absolutely right.
It's just chock full of so much great information, first of all, and then just to hear testimonials from others who've been doing it as well.
It's awesome. The amount of information, it borders on information overload, but it is so good. Every time you hear it, you just understand it a little better.
So the live on-stage phone calls where all the mentors got up on stage. Each mentor got about 3 chances, or whoever they can get on the phone. And it was raw, uncut, live calls. Like, you know, anything can go.
You actually get to see fellow students work on properties that have the potential for you to purchase and make an incredible profit on.
Ron's an awesome guy. He's got the goods. It's not a flash in the pan kind of event. It's just rock solid meat and potatoes, good stuff all the way through.
He is so matter of fact. His teaching style is very to the point. There's no BS, but you learn really quickly that way.
He's the real deal. He's to the point, and he's been doing it for so long that it's like second nature to him. And if you just listen to what he does and what he says, then you'll do fine.
He seems sincere, he's honest, he's easy to understand. He has a sense of humor. So I enjoy his teaching.
Man, he changed my life, man, just off of the content that I've gotten, just listening to him. And I don't know too many people that can hold you in one place for 12 hours and you still be excited just listening to him.
He tells you exactly what to do, how it is. It's no baloney, you know? I like that.
Everybody is just super nice, super helpful. They want to make sure that you're getting what you're needing.
Anytime we have a question, they're there to answer it.
Everybody's so helpful, and all they want to do is see you succeed, which is very good, and it's obvious too.
This event gives you limitless potential. You owe it to yourself to come and learn what this process is, because it will open your eyes and change your life.
Just do it. I mean, save up the money. And if you're on the fence and this is something that you're interested in and you can see yourself doing, then you're absolutely right. You can absolutely do this business. It'll change your life. I believe it's changed mine.
If you're considering real estate at all, this event, you can get people that will walk beside you and help you become a success in this. 100%. You will do deals with these people.
You're going to make it back in one deal if you're passionate about it and this is what you want to do. To me, it's like a no-brainer, you know?
Just do it. Just do it.